I knew I'd struggle with it today. Thursday morning, everyone. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys, and he's so excited for UFC being back on tap this weekend. He's excited that it's free on Paramount Plus. Free, no more pay-per-view is what we mean on Paramount Plus. Well, he's sticking around today for Uncle Lou coming in at 9 o'clock. Dale Illustrate, everybody.
Good morning, Steve. You got a lot of energy today. I'm taking that as nobody got fired yesterday.
No, but I did have an incident.
Oh.
Update. Well, first of all, remember how I declared my lawsuit problems were over? Yeah, maybe not.
What?
I got an email from my lawyer, and it said, something new in your document folder. And I'm like, I'll log in and download my cancellation where they're dropping the case against me personally, and now they'll go after the LLC. Nope, I logged in. I'm being summoned to court on February 12th, and the judge signed it yesterday.
For the same thing?
Yeah.
Right before Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Look, court system's not convenient.
Come on.
So I got that, and I did that last night. I was ready to go to bed already. I was tired. And I was like, and then I got that. And I'm like, now I just get that. And I'm just like, God dang it. Here I go again. So that might not be over. I emailed the lawyer and was like, give me a call. But that was one thing. But then the second thing was, yesterday I'm driving home. And I put a tweet out the other day about State Farm, right? And I was just like, because I wanted to see kind of like if they'd respond, because that's how people do it. They never responded because they don't care, right, about anything. They just want their money. They don't care about you, the person. So, but what did happen, I had several people, including a couple listeners, and I appreciate this as well, and I'm going to follow up with them, but they were like, look, this is what I do for a living. I fight denial of claims from insurance companies, and I don't know how they do it. They must go through the state or something because the state regulates them and stuff like that. But they're like, it doesn't cost anything. We go through it. We just, whether some of them take a percentage of what they win for you and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. So I start doing research into that. And while I'm doing research into that, Dale, I'm driving home yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? This lady told me her boss was in the denial. Like, I should be able to speak to, I should be able to appeal this. So I call State Farm.
Okay.
I call the main number. And they give you options, and I have a bunch of claims in there, right? So I have a bunch of options, and I pick that claim. And he goes, who do you want to speak to? And I said the other person's name that I've talked to there. Not the person that came out and then denied it. And they sent me directly to the lady, my favorite person. I hung up the phone instantly. I don't want to talk to you. You're a clown. I don't want to talk to you.
Ooh.
I didn't say it. I just hung up on her. So I call back. Do the same thing again. Like maybe I messed it up. And it says, okay, we're transferring you to Matthew, was the guy I was looking for. Because I just want to know, like, hey, who's the appeal process? Can I talk to somebody's boss? Whatever. I just want to talk about that. She answers again. So obviously they're just going to keep sending me to her. So I go, hey, how you doing? I go, hey, I'm looking for a supervisor over your level that I can talk to about something. And she goes, this is the second time you've called, sir. And I go, yep. I go, last time I didn't want to talk to you, but your system routed me back to you, so I'd like to
Caller ID.
I'd like to talk to somebody else. I'd like to talk to your boss. You said your boss denied it. I'd like to speak to that level, please, on a thing. I go, and I said the right term yesterday, but there's a division in the government that oversees, insurance company. I go, I talked to them, which I didn't, but I said I did because somebody else told me you call them, but you have to have a number of a complaint from State Farm to give to them. So I'm like, all right, that's what I'm looking for. I need to talk to somebody, get a complaint number so I can give it to them when I call them. It just turns into this argument. And she's like, I need to know who you are before I can transfer you. And I go, well, you obviously know who I am. And she goes, Mr. McCollum, just say your, and it's like 10 minutes, folks, of me going, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your boss. I want to talk to a supervisor over you. You denied the claim. I want to talk about the appeal process. You lied in your process. I can prove you lied because I by the way, I did look up the pictures. I have the pictures of it being done in that last incident. I go, I have proof it was done. I know you have proof it was done because I also see where I sent it to you. I go, so you've either lied in this process or you're just incompetent in what you do. And I don't care which one it is. I need to speak to somebody else. And she goes, Mr. McCollum, just say your name and I can transfer you. And I go, well, you obviously know who I am. So then it's 10 minutes of me going, you know who I am, just transfer me. And I go, fine, it's Stephen McCollum. My claim number's this. She goes, thank you. And then just nothing on the line. Just nothing, Dale. Just silence. I'm like, she put me on hold. So I'm just talking. I'm literally like, oh, now you just put me on hold, all unprofessional like. You don't want me to talk to your boss. For some reason, you're fighting me on this. Like, just tell me to contact and everything. And she comes back on pissed off. She's hearing every word I'm saying. I'm just taking shots. I got pictures here. You're lying. The insurance agency wants to find out why you're lying about this because it was done before. I go, I don't understand why you're fighting me on this. So let's do it. I'll play the game with you. I'm like saying stuff like that. She comes back pissed off. Mr. McCollum, I don't do anything unscrupulous. And she's like yelling at me. And I go, look, lady, I don't want to argue with you. I go, you're a clown, and I don't want to argue with you. I want you to transfer me. You now know my name. And she goes, I can't transfer you. So then it's 10 minutes of me going, because she's like fighting me. And then it's like 5 minutes of me going, you said you could transfer me. Now you can't transfer me? She goes, I need to look up a number to have them to call you back with a number. And I go, I don't want you to gatekeep this. I go, I want the phone number myself. I don't want you calling somebody, telling them your lies again, and then calling me back. I said, I want to speak to somebody directly so I can lay out this situation. And I go, I'm not attacking you in this. I'm just going to break down the policies, what happened, exactly what was said. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to lay it out there, and I'm going to send in the picture showing it was done. I'm going to show in I sent you everything because I have a picture of that as well. Because somebody in State Farm sent me that claim information, and they have the receipt and the pictures of it being completed, and they sent me the check. She lied to me on the phone. So she's just arguing with me. And finally she goes, I'm done with this. Somebody will call you back shortly. Hung up the phone on me. And I'm just like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't care. I literally at one point was like, I don't care about you, lady. I don't care about you.
Don't they say all these calls are recorded?
They're recorded.
Supposedly.
So now my whole point is like, do I need to like do something so they can hold these calls so they don't get deleted, right? But never got a phone call back from anybody. Never got a phone call back. So today, and I got home yesterday and I was like, I'm enjoying my afternoon. Like, I'm not upset. I'm just like, all right, now something's up. Why is she so adamant that I can't speak to somebody else about this? Like, she's like, this is my final decision. Well, no, you told me a boss denied it. Now you're telling me you denied it? So now I'm like, all right, something's up with this. So now I'm like, all right, let's play the game, lady. So that's what I'm going to start working on today. But that was an interesting phone call driving home yesterday. If somebody called me up when I was at the corporate world or whatever and said, I want to speak to your boss about something, no problem. Here's the information.
Right. I'll either transfer you or I'll give you the info and he'll call you back this afternoon.
No problem. Why? Because I wasn't afraid of anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't care. I just did my job. If you don't like it, I understand why you don't like it. Here you go. See you later. But then she was like, I'm not giving you anything. She was lying. I transfer you. It was 20 minutes of transfer. Then she finally confirms it's me, which she knew. She used my name before I gave it to her. And then all of a sudden, she can't transfer anymore. Some shenanigans are underway here with this lady. That's what I'm getting at here, folks. I got to start looking into that now. I'm going to reach out to a couple of these, I don't know what they call themselves, advocates or whatever, and everything. I mean, what's the worst case? It doesn't cost anything. Stick that on them. I don't care. Let's F some S up. But I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It was a simple phone call of, who do I talk to? I don't want to talk to you. Who do I talk to the next step of the process? Don't have that answer today. Why don't I have that answer today? It's a simple thing. I call the corporate office today. I will get somebody to return a phone call to me that's above that agency to talk to me about this. Why do I have to go through all this? Why is there this crazy lady, this clown liar, gatekeeping everything? I don't get it. This is a simple process. Just tell me who I appeal this to, who I talk to next. And 2 days later, I still don't have that information. And it was $650 to tarp the house because we have a rainstorm coming in that she told me she would pay. And I have witnesses there saying she would pay for that. Now she's not saying she's going to pay for that either. Liar.
Steve, why do these
Liar.
things happen to Steve McCullough?
I know. I was just like, I just want somebody to talk to. I just want somebody over you to talk to. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Are you that sweet on the phone?
Dude, I was nice to her, man. I didn't raise my
Really?
voice or nothing.
Okay.
I mean, I called her a clown a couple times. But that was when I realized she's not doing anything for me.
Okay.
She's lying to me. It was, I can't transfer you unless I know what who you are and what your claim number is. Okay.
But you knew I called before.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then she said my name before I gave it to her. She said my name twice, by the way. And I go, you know who I am, so just transfer me. I don't want to talk to you. You can do nothing for me. And then it turns into I can't transfer you anymore. Somebody's got to call you back. What? I even said at one point, transfer me to the actual claims people that sent, that assigned you to my house. Just send me back to those, because that's who I was trying to get a hold of, not her. I was trying to get a hold of the regular claims people.
Right.
And so I could talk to them and be like, okay, what's the process now? Who do I talk to? Who's the next level I talk to go through this and everything? Because one of the listeners out there, I don't know if he wants me to give a shout out, so we'll wait on that.
Yeah.
But if he does want me to, because this is what he does, apparently. But he's the one that told me. He goes, call him back and say these words. See what they say. He goes, but you got to get to a supervisor level. Okay. Let's try it. I was calm because I don't care. Now I don't care what the interaction is. I'm going to fix this house, and I'm going to move this house to somebody else. Cool. Don't care. They don't care. I don't care. But if they're lying to me and it goes to other people because they're doing this to other people as well, let's F some S up and cause some problems and get this fixed so I know the process. So when other people talk about being denied and being screwed over by Carla, whatever her name was, what was her name? Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. But when they get screwed by State Farm, Carla Jones. When they get screwed by State Farm, then I'll be able to help them through it and say, hey, this is what I did. Do this thing.
Right.
See if they can help you. Yeah, so it was my day yesterday, Dale. It wasn't smooth, but it wasn't bad. I mean, nothing bad happened. I just got yelled at and everything.
Was your day worse than Bobby Hurley's?
I'm going to talk about Bobby Hurley.
Was your day worse?
Okay,
Bobby Hurley. Or
Bobby
about the
Hurley's a
same?
guy that is resigned to the fact that he's getting fired. Bobby Hurley, after 10 years, now realizes his job is about to end. We'll talk about that in just a minute.
Okay.
The reason why I want to hold off on that, though, is because we talked yesterday about the mock drafts in the NFL.
Oh, brother.
No, this is a football question for you because Robert tweeted in something yesterday, and I tend to agree with him a little bit on this. But I might know the answer. So we talked about that guy that we can't pronounce his name, but the Miami
Right tackle.
guy is a right tackle.
61.
And Robert says, now Beck is a right-handed quarterback.
Yes.
So he's a right tackle.
Yeah.
So he's not on his blind side. Robert says, my thinking is, why isn't the Miami guy a left tackle? Isn't that where they put the best tackle on the team? Not necessarily, because I think you put your best tackle on the blind side of the quarterback so he doesn't get blindsided. But can he play left tackle? Dale, give us a little bit of the insight here on the offensive line side. Why isn't he? Now, I'm not saying him specifically, but why is it possible why you would put the non-best tackle on the non-blind side of the quarterback?
Well, the reason that I think about this guy, number one, if you're looking at it from a Cardinals perspective,
Okay.
you believe you have your left tackle.
Yes, that's the problem.
You believe you have your left tackle and Paris Johnson.
If you don't know you have your left tackle now, then you have a serious problem because you have your left tackle.
And I'm not going to argue that at all. I think that Paris Johnson would be in the top half of NFL left tackles.
Okay, I do agree with that. Yes.
The right tackle usually is a little less athletic.
Okay, because he doesn't have to pull as much.
Well, no, he doesn't have to pass block 250-pound dudes. Usually, you're going to have your lighter, faster, more athletic guys rushing from the quarterback's blind side.
Yeah. Okay.
But
it has to do with the
you
blind
also are a little more physical, and run blocking is more your forte
on the
at
right side.
tackle.
Okay.
And so pass blocking. So left tackle, pass first, run second. Right tackle, run first, pass second.
Does that change if it's a left-handed quarterback?
It can. There's so few of them.
Well, that's a problem. There's very few of them.
There's so few
There
of
is.
them, but it can.
But I'm just curious because I'm like, is that just the standard, or does that change because obviously a left-handed quarterback, everything?
I mean, I guess the
I
most
was curious.
famous duo that I would talk about would be when I played Anthony Munoz, arguably the best
Oh.
left tackle in the game.
I thought you were going to go Steve Young here, but okay.
No, well, I don't. Their left tackles went in and out, and right
Okay.
tackle. But Anthony Munoz, arguably the best tackle that's ever played the game,
Okay.
was the left tackle for Boomer Esiason,
Yes, a left-handed.
who was a
lefty.
left-hander.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
therein lies a little bit of the rub of, hey, who you need to protect the
The
quarterback's blind side.
right? Yeah, because
Um,
obviously your best one was on the left.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I saw that from Robert yesterday. He tweeted in at like 5:16 p.m. last night.
Right.
Don't forget, you can text us 623-252-60. Holy cow, I just forgot the number there. Jeez, I'm drunk. 623-252-6670.
Call Carla.
Anytime you can text us anytime or hit us up on Twitter as well. But I saw that from him and I went, hey, that's a good point.
Mhm.
So you're saying less athletic, but more run block. Because I did see him
More
pulling,
physical.
I did see him pulling, and I did see him downfield on linebackers a lot. Not necessarily in the national championship game, but in the Fiesta Bowl game. I
Yeah.
noticed him a lot in that type of. So that makes sense. Okay, but a lot of guys. I mean, some guys. Paris Johnson can't play the right side. He just prefers the left, and you saw that in his rookie year.
And he's more important on the left side. Left side tackles.
But not everybody can switch, right?
It's more difficult than you think it is. A lot of people go, "Oh, it's just put your right hand down and your left hand down."
Well, because
but everything changes.
everybody wants a lineman that can play multiple positions, and you want them really bad because not a lot of guys can do that.
You want your second tier guys to play
That's-
multiple positions.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
You want your best guys to be the best at their position.
yeah. So no, that was an interesting point
Yeah.
there by Robert last night with that Miami guy. Of course, the Athletic mock draft had him going a fourth behind the Cardinals in their mock draft.
And who do they
yesterday.
have? Cardinals.
They had the Cardinals taking Fanu from offensive tackle from Utah.
They can't take an offensive tackle at
I
3.
agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Now, if they can, if they trade down to 5, 6, 7, okay,
Yeah.
but not at 3.
I
Not
don't-
at
I
3.
don't
If you can't make a trade,
Not 3 with all the other talent available.
well, that's what I'm saying. If you can't make a trade down, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes people are like, "Well, I'm not jumping
Yeah,
up
I'm
to
not
3. There's
jumping.
nobody to."
I would
for
rather
that.
see them take Jordan Tyson as a
Wow.
receiver at 3 than I would an offensive tackle.
I would. I'm coming around to Bruce Cooper. If you can't make a trade down,
Yeah.
I would probably go with Love,
Yeah.
the running back out of Notre Dame.
A skill position. That's what I'm getting at. Not necessarily a wide receiver, but a skill position that can make an impact immediately.
Yeah, because if you're at 3, and I think that they probably will go into it going, we want to trade down. But again, so many fans out there go, well, just I've heard, I've seen all this stuff about Kyler Murray. Hey,
Yeah, I know.
we trade Kyler Murray here. You go,
Kyler Murray's not getting traded, folks.
Well, he's not. Whether or not he's getting traded, some of the deals that I see
Yeah.
people putting together.
2 first rounders.
Yes.
That's my point. If he's getting traded, he's getting traded for lesser value and to a team that's desperate. Everybody's going to wait for him to be released.
I mean, I saw
they take
guys that somebody said this last night. Hey, how about Kyler Murray, and like a whatever it was, a 4th round pick to the Jets to move up to number 2.
Yeah. But why? What
Why
does
you
move up to
number
2
2?
do?
It doesn't do
so you
anything.
can get Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State. That's not an appealing draft pick either, in my opinion. Not him. I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying a linebacker in my eyes at number 2 was too high for that. Like, go skill a guy that can impact you right away on the field.
With the ball in his hand.
Yes, that's what I would say you would do. And you see it all over the NFL. I mean, Stefanski went to Atlanta because they have a dynamic guy that just get the ball in his hands. But did you see Stefanski, by the way? He hired the same offensive coordinator that he had in Cleveland. That Cleveland offense has been trash. And he hired the same guy. What did he do? You had a chance to move on from him. You had a chance to get Pedzing. I try to stay with the straight face. Since you're here for the whole first hour, let's just stay with the NFL side because something interesting happened yesterday. that I'm just fascinated by. I watched that whole Buffalo Bills press conference with the GM and the owner yesterday.
How awkward was that?
So Robert tagged us. It was happening during the show, and Robert tagged us. First of all, Dale, the NFL, the Broncos, just overtime of the Broncos Bills game, just overtime in this game. I'm scrolling here to stall here. 51.3 million viewers in overtime only. 51.3 million.
That's a lot of people, isn't it?
That means a lot of people went, oh, it's an overtime. Let's turn it on.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. Most watched Saturday telecasts on any network since the 1994 Winter Olympics.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Saturday nights are not good viewing experience times in terms of breaking records out there. Yeah, 51.3. And that, like I said, that's tuned in during overtime. So it got bigger during overtime. And then you go right to the next game, and it's a 70-point deficit before you blink. But this press conference with the Bills, speaking of bad owners, wow. So we talked about it yesterday because Robert tagged us on it, and I'll play you that first here. Bills owner who just goes after a wide receiver on the team, Keon Coleman, and just goes after him. Just goes after the guy. If you're Keon Coleman, you're like, I'm not wanted here. All right, see you later. Get rid of me. But here's the owner yesterday talking about Keon Coleman specifically.
Yeah,
Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
I mean, there's defending your guy that you're keeping on staff who has failed as a GM. His talent has gotten worse over the last several years, and he's failed as a GM. There's no other way to look at it. Yeah, Sean McDermott's taking the blame, but you also got to look at the GM. We look at the GM here in the Cardinals, Monty, and we go, all right, Monty. That whole press conference was Monty. What's with the roster? What's with the roster?
Right.
Yeah, the head coach took the blame here. Here's the problem with what that owner just said, though. You guys see this last night? I watched the whole thing. He's an awkward owner. He is a clueless owner. He even went after Josh Allen a little bit and said, after the game, I went to see Josh Allen. And he didn't even notice me there. Wouldn't pay attention to me.
Oh, I didn't hear that
Yeah.
part.
And then he said, and then my favorite part was he said, we did not fire Sean McDermott because of the outcome of the game. We're not blaming referees here. But we decided to move on from Sean McDermott because he didn't win that game, is what he said, not the referee stuff. Literally 4 other times in the press conference when Bean's talking, Brandon Bean, the owner interrupted and goes, "It was that bad call. It was a catch." Like he kept saying stuff like that throughout it. So they fired Sean McDermott because he didn't win that game. And they don't want to blame the officials, but now they're blaming the officials on top of it. Just cowardly ownership here by Buffalo.
I just think there's so many ways you can go about it. You can say, hey,
just keep your mouth shut.
McDermott had a great 9-year run. We love him around here. He's taken us to places we hadn't been in a while, and we just feel
he's second to
that we're
Marv
kinda
Levy
stuck.
in terms of our coaching tree,
And-
of all-time coaching tree. He's number 2.
And we just felt we needed to make a change.
No.
And
He literally attacked a player.
Yeah. That's
As
still
well.
on your team.
Yes, that's still on the team.
This is it. I'm reading the story about Brandon Ayuk. It's not Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers.
Yeah, who quit.
Yeah.
Who quit and decided not to play again.
This guy's still on the team.
People went back. Somebody put together all the quotes from Brandon Bean, the Bills GM, on draft night and put them all together for us. Hey, so this wasn't Brandon Bean's choice, huh? Let's go back to draft night when they draft Keon. Here's the Bills GM, Brandon Bean, on Keon for draft night.
When I went to bed that night, I was like, It's Keon unless someone just blows us away. We didn't feel anything was attractive enough for us to pass up on Keon.
All things considered.
All things considered, Rich, just get the guy who's feels the best fit.
Yep.
It always might be obvious, but so tomorrow, who we picking?
We're just going to keep trading, Mark. We're going to get 14 fifths. Barring someone offering us something stupid, we'll take Keon Coleman.
That's a day before the draft. Is Sean McDermott advocating for Keon?
Doesn't sound like I didn't hear his voice come up at all.
I didn't hear him go like, we got to take Keon. Keon's our guy. I'm going to fight to the death for Keon. No, it sounded like one guy was making that decision.
Well, and again, I don't want to come across as sexist, but why are the owner
But you're
and
gonna
his wife
But you're going to do it anyway?
in the draft meeting room?
Yeah. Well, they have a say. They have a say in it too. Yeah.
Well, I understand that, but we get on Jerry for being in there
Yes.
by himself.
Yes.
Now you got a husband and a wife.
But that's the day before when they're still
Yeah.
like deciding. So if you don't know how it works, everybody gets together and they settle on 2 or 3 people. And there's usually an argument between head coach wants one guy, GM wants another guy, owner wants one guy. Like Johnny Manziel's a famous story for the Cowboys. Jerry wanted Johnny. Steven was like, "We're not drafting him, pops." and the whoever the coach was, I don't remember, was like, "I don't want Johnny Manziel. That'd be horrible for this team. We don't need that."
I think it was Jason.
Oh, was it Jason? And like there was a famous battle that has been documented where even like Steven or Jerry's daughter was like, "Nobody wants him, Dad." Like it was a fight in there.
Well, I think Steven had Jerry up against the wall.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah.
The point here is it doesn't go that smoothly if somebody doesn't want somebody. Coaches aren't afraid to speak up in that environment. Scouts aren't afraid to speak up in that environment and go, "No, this is the guy you need. This is the better scouted guy. Here, let me tell you my case."
Well,
That was a GM there the day before. That wasn't even like leading up to the draft. That was the day before where they were set. They're taking Keon Coleman.
And just so you understand, the further down the draft, the more names you have to have.
So you
if
have
you're
to get
number
more
one, obviously you get the
Yeah.
the pick of the litter.
Yeah, and
You're
they were a high draft pick in that draft.
You're number 2. Guess what? There's gonna be one guy out the board before you make.
They
but
were
if you're-
lower first round, I should say, but they were high enough to where they had decisions to make.
But if you're down in the 10, 11, 12 into the 20s,
I think they were in the 20s because
you know,
they went to the playoffs.
you have no idea what's going to go on in front of you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a bunch of names that could be in front
Yes.
of you. Yeah. And this wasn't like they were picking 10th or 5th.
Right.
They made the playoff run that year and everything like that. I love the internet, man. It's the best thing ever. As yesterday, that owner's like, it wasn't his decision. There's defending your guy, and then there's looking like a complete fool defending your guy. Boy, I have question marks. And now, did you see they're going to hire Dable as the head coach, folks? It's coming.
It looks
Prepare
that way,
yourself.
huh?
Prepare yourself. Wow, Bills are going to go downhill quickly here, in my opinion. They're kind of like the Lions. I'm kind of viewing them like the Lions right now, where it's like, oof, individual decisions are, and it's not because they fired McDermott, it's because of all this other stuff that's happening behind the scenes on top of it. So that was a little fun yesterday for me to watch.
Well, and I know you had a little fun too, because I saw a tweet from you, Detroit, and a national writer was like, "Oh, the Petzing with the Cardinals," you know.
He was praising him.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going after every national guy that said this was a great hire. I was retweeting him and being like, "Tell me you didn't watch one lick of Cardinals football without telling me you didn't see one lick of Cardinals football." One guy actually came back at me and said, I don't think he wasn't a national guy, but he came back at me and said, well, what do you mean? And I go, Dan Campbell is a very aggressive, likes to go for it on 4th down, likes an aggressive 4th down play, like take a chance on it.
Right.
I go, Petzing, he'll run it on 3rd and 8 instead of trying to get the first down. I go, where he gets aggressive is when it's 4th and 8 and you can pick up the first down to keep the drive going and you need a field goal to win the game. And he'll throw it 30 yards down the field to a receiver that hasn't caught a ball all year, toward the end zone. By the way, twice in a couple games after he took a lot of flack the first time. I go, that just doesn't seem like a Dan Campbell type hire in my view on that stuff. But people love this Petzing to Detroit thing. I'm telling you, man, it's weird. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but I'm telling you, people view Drew Petzing, except for here in Arizona, people blew, meaning fan base, because even in the Cardinals building, I have it on good authority. Drew Penzing was highly thought of as a play caller in that building. And now he goes to Detroit and they think he's highly. I don't get it, but God bless you. But yeah, I didn't. I was just commenting on all the national guys selling it.
Yeah.
That's because they like Dan Campbell, right? Like Dan Campbell, they're going to overhype Dan Campbell's hire. Like he could have hired Satan himself and they would have said good things about it, right? So they want to see Dan Campbell succeed. And I can understand that.
Yeah.
But that's not journalistic ability. That's liking a guy and going on that side of things. But yeah, no, I wasn't going after him. I was just having fun with it. Like I was going after my buddy Kevin McCabe yesterday. Did you see that? Okay. Hathcock quit Mesa
Yes.
and went to Perry.
Perry.
And he has to still go through the hiring process at Perry, by the way. The district has to approve him.
Right.
Everybody made it sound like it was a done deal. Even Mesa said Coach Hathcock resigned and he's going to Perry. Like everybody says it's a done deal, but he's still got to go through the process. So I was just trying to throw bombs in there, going, "Oh, can he recruit kids from California and give them free room and board at Perry like he did at Mesa?" The amount of people, and I'm not saying they're bad guys. I know a little bit more about Coach Hathcock than I think most people do. Like I know why he really left Desert Ridge in 2020.
Well, he went from Desert Ridge to Blue Ridge, correct?
Yeah, where he was from. Yep,
Yeah.
Northern Arizona. Yep.
He's
He's had 4 jobs in 4 years now.
He's an all-state guy in Blue Ridge. His home school.
The story around Desert Ridge, people that worked with him, etc. So these are people that know him. He was getting a little full of his britches there toward the end of Desert Ridge. Rightfully so. He was winning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But he made it about himself. And that's the MO on him. That was the MO on him when he went and got those California kids last year. Like the word that I was being told was, it's not a shocker that he's the one doing this. Because it's about his record. It's about his coaching. It's about him being successful. Not the kids, right? And stuff like that. That's the MO on him around coaching circles, if you don't know. I'm not breaking news here. It's what everybody says about him. So I am shocked at the amount of media people of 40-something years. It's not just Kevin McCabe. I'm not bashing him. Shocked how they go, oh, he's a leader and just a great guy. I'm like, this guy's done a lot of questionable stuff in his day.
Well, whatever happened 10 years ago.
Four jobs in 4 years on top of it. That's not leadership.
Yeah, because he's over on so he went to Blue Ridge for a few years.
And he went to one of those, a small school here. I want to say Liberty, but it's not Liberty.
No. It's over on the west side,
it
though.
is, yeah.
And then Mesa.
It's not Liberty, but I that's why I want to say, but it starts with an L, I think. But yeah, he went there for a year, Mesa for a year. And I can understand leaving Mesa under these circumstances. Your AD is gone now, your principal's gone, different support system.
Right.
But Perry just fired their coach that was highly recruited back to Perry to rebuild the Perry program and everything. And Perry's unfortunately, in a division in that Chandler Unified with some heavyweights, folks.
Oh, yeah.
And they just can't get over that hump. But they just got rid of a guy because parents complained about the way he was yelling at the players. And now you're hiring Coach Hathcock to go up there? Like, there's a lot of question marks here, right, in terms of that stuff and everything. And I'm not bashing it, but I was having a little fun yesterday with that, too, with just the amount of people. I'm shocked at the amount of people that are just like, they're great. And I'm not saying they're not great guys off the field, but, I think Mesa, my personal thoughts is Mesa used the gun incident at Mesa to unload a principal and an athletic director, both who are respected, by the way.
Yes.
I think they used that as the excuse to get rid of him, maybe because of the football situation last year.
Yeah,
Like,
you
that
obviously
was the
had some
excuse to go.
information about that football deal that didn't make big time news.
I've been told from somebody in the know. And that's why I was floating it out there yesterday. I know one high school reporter guy that you golfed with on Monday knows the answer to this.
Right.
But nobody else is admitting it. Meaning other 40-year media people. So that's why I was floating it out there on certain posts to see if anybody would take the bait and respond. Oh, we don't know about that. Or, silence.
Right.
Which tells you they know. Yeah, that's fine. If you want that in high school sports, then fine, support the guy. If you don't. I don't care either way. I'm gonna still probably have to go to a couple Perry games, or at least a Perry game this year or whatever. But the interesting thing about Perry is they're good in all their sports. Obviously they had Coapete for 4 years and stuff like that. But they struggle at football. But again, Hamilton, Chandler,
Yep. Basha.
I was like, I'm forgetting the third one.
Yeah, Basha.
They're literally right there between those schools.
But back when the Purdy's were coming through there, they were going to state championships and all that. So again, I've never done a Perry game. That's one high school I've never done, never been to, don't know anything about.
I was there not this year, but last year. Desert Ridge played Perry and me. That was the first year of that coach, and he had a 3-year plan. I think it was his second year. He had a 3-year plan to rebuild that program, and he was on the right track. And then last year they got derailed a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not a secret out there. Administration moved on from him because of some parents' complaint. And so they moved on from him. And now, but also that job's been open for a couple months now. And they had nobody to take that. And then Coach Hathaway, who does have a record of being successful, now he takes that program. I'm just more shocked at the people openly defending it in the media circles. Like, you don't see that a lot, is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Media just reports it and moves on. And then there's another group of media people in high school that defend people to the death. And I don't get it. But hey, media today, right?
Well, what I want to do also is point out, and I want to make sure I have the teams correct. Last night, something happened in high school basketball in Arizona.
Did another kid score 100 points?
That hasn't happened in forever and ever and ever.
I do not know the answer to this. I was kind of checked out last night.
Sunny Slope played Millennium.
Yes.
Both, I think, well, it is, for the first time ever, two Arizona high schools ranked in the top 10 in the country.
Yeah, this is they're not state ranked.
In the country played against each other. Evidently, there were coaches galore. Because there's some players at both those, and you're thinking
if a college school had an off night last night, their coach was there. From what I read,
and you're thinking Sunny Slope,
Millennium. That's what shocked me. Millennium doesn't surprise me. Sunny Slope. Yeah, Sunny Slope does.
But that is again, we've talked about how far the state of Arizona has come. We went back and done the research. Not we, but me and my buddies. To where there were literally about 10 guys from the state of Arizona in 1980 who got Division I football scholarship offers. They're like 3 from Tucson, 7 here from the Valley. Well, and there's one in Casa Grande. I don't know what you consider that. But about
I consider
10.
Casa Grande more Phoenix.
Okay, about 10.
Yeah.
And now you look at some of these schools that are having 7, 8, 9 Division I offers on a team. Basketball was woefully behind everything.
Yes.
And then now you got Coapete for 4 years, who's shining at U of A.
Well, it started to change a little bit when Bibby and those guys.
Yeah, that was Bibby was here in the late '90s.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. And then I don't know if it continued on that streak, but even Justin Jefferson and those guys.
Every once in a while, there was a guy.
Yeah.
But to have 2 teams ranked in the top 10 in the country is just, hey, that's a feather in the cap for the state.
I saw somebody post something on that last. I didn't realize that there was that many schools there or whatever. But but it's apparently it was the place to be last night.
Yeah. Ober took a picture, I think, about an hour before
was he the one
game,
that did it? Yeah.
And stands were packed.
Yeah. Which is unusual for me because I'm used to going to basketball games, man, and like pick your section.
Yes. Show up 5 minutes before tip-off.
Seriously. And you're sitting wherever you want, and you're finding your friends and sitting by them and stuff like that. That's why I never saw Coapete play because I was like, I'm not fighting that mob to go see him play. Like, no, that's ridiculous. But that's the thing. And like Sunny Slope, and that's not 6A, right? Is Sunny Slope 6A in basketball?
I think they're 5A.
I think they're 5A in everything. So, but no, I was surprised by that also. That I don't know why I would think that, but Sunny Slope is like a declining area.
Yes,
it's an expensive area. It's like an older crowd there is what I guess I'm trying to say. But maybe not. Maybe I missed it. Maybe the high school is a little different than the area that it's in. But from that side, let's take a quick break here. Let's get into Bobby Hurley here as well. Uncle Lou's going to join us here, top of the hour as well. And Dale's going to hang around with us today as well. We'll get Dale's knowledge here on the UFC fight this weekend on
Yes,
Paramount
sir.
Plus.
Gaethje.
We're going to figure out if Dale can figure out how to load up Paramount Plus to watch this on Saturday night. What else are you doing? There's no football anymore. Let's do it. Come on back, main event. You were so
I'm not
young,
tooting my
what?
own horn.
Keep tooting your own horn.
No, I'm not tooting my own horn. Just telling you a story. Me and Fernando
He was just reading Fernando
Mendoza.
how he was rejected from Miami, walk on, FIU, FAU, Yale said you could come here but no scholarship,
Yeah.
and I said some guys are just late bloomers, and then Dale made it about himself.
Yeah. So me and Fernando both not 5 stars, but look at now. I wasn't the number one pick in the draft. But,
Just missed it by a little.
yeah, just about 111 picks too
Just
late.
by a little bit. Who was the owner of the Bills when you were
A
there?
guy named Ralph Wilson.
That's right, Ralph Wilson. Yeah, and then he sold it off.
He lived in Detroit.
Yeah, he didn't even live
No,
there.
he didn't even live in Buffalo.
I think that was always the criticism, was he didn't care.
Right.
I think there were stories of how he hated Buffalo, actually, as well. But yeah, Ralph Wilson, that's right. Ralph Wilson Stadium
Yep.
and stuff like that. So when he showed up to something, you went, uh-oh, owner's here. Ain't good.
It's seriously crazy. And finally, Cal offered Fernando.
Oh, that's right. He went to Cal, yeah.
For 2 weeks before signing day.
I saw a video of his first day at Cal. Somebody was recording it for, I don't know what reason. And they were recording it. He was lost. He's like asking me. People are just like, oh, you go over here. And like, little do they know that he was going to be a national champion in a few years at Indiana. And all of that.
Wow.
How if the girls saw themselves in that video where he was talking to them, they probably go, dang it. Hey, Bobby Hurley, let's get this in before Lou gets here.
Oh, your boy.
They lost last night, just to tell you. We won't get into the details. They lost again last night. And this West Virginia, West Virginia?
Yeah.
They were a beatable team.
Yep.
And if you're going to do what you want to do in the Big 12, Bobby Hurley needs to beat the beatable teams. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like they're going to walk in and blow people out, but they need to go in and beat the beatable teams. And they missed an opportunity last night. I'm going to show you 2 after the game clips for Bobby Hurley. You don't even need to know how they played. They lost to West Virginia, which they could lose to West Virginia. It's not a shocker they lost to them, but that's a team they need to beat if they want to have other plans and if Bobby Hurley wants to keep his job.
Well, remember, it's West Virginia at home.
Yeah, here in Valley.
Yeah.
Here. Oh, dear God. I'll just tell you right now, Bobby Hurley knows his days here as a head coach at Arizona State University are coming to an end. Don't believe me? Bobby Hurley, after the game, you say, Bobby, what's up with the losses at home? 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Stick with us.
Like, couldn't get key rebounds, like just where we needed to we made them miss somewhere and we just couldn't come up with a rebound. It's been like a consistent theme throughout. hats off to them. I mean, the shot they made on the right wing from like 30 feet as the shot clock was expiring, like there's things like that happening which bring the word like doomed into my mind. Like that's the word when I see a shot like that go in, like doomed, right? That's come like. We have not played well here in years, like since before COVID. Like we had this place cooking before COVID. Now it's a sterile environment. We don't win here. We don't give our fans any reason to show up with enthusiasm to think that we're going to win a basketball game. And we have been dreadful at home for years. Even the year, I mean, I'd have to look at the exact record. The last time we did go to the NCAA tournament a couple years ago, I don't think we were great here. Like, I think we were better freaking on the road somewhere, anywhere, you know. So this has been going on for a while, and it's not a home court advantage. We can't win here, and bottom line.
You can take it down,
The light and
Kobe.
the tunnel.
He goes on.
I wanted to hear the go on.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, doesn't he say that people don't listen?
Oh no, that's the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Okay.
That's the next clip. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, he goes on there talking about the home. Here's my problem with this. Who's responsible for putting a team out there that the fans want to go watch? Dale?
Is there a general manager he can blame it on?
Yeah. Who's responsible for that, Coach Hurley? It's just, what are you doing? You're blaming the environment, sterile environment. Nobody wanted to go to that game at Wednesday. I actually thought about it at one point. I was like, oh, they played West Virginia night 7. And my next thought was, why would I waste my time with that?
You don't
That literally was my thought last night at like 5:30 when I was at Texas Roadhouse.
You don't like sterile environments.
I prefer empty stadiums. I would enjoy that more without all the people around, to be honest with you. I've sat in a lot of Cardinals empty stadiums, Dale. I enjoy it because you get in and out quick. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're blaming the environment. Yeah, you're right. The fan base has given up on you, Coach, because you don't win.
Since before COVID.
That place was rocking before COVID. When we were at the radio station, man, those tickets were fun to go to. Even if they got lost, they were fun to go to and see. And it hasn't been the last couple of years. But that's on Coach Hurley, right? So he's blaming the environment, the sterile environment around the stadium.
Yeah.
For his losing at home now. Well, let's talk to Hurley. Let's go to Hurley. Hurley number 2, Dale. This is the one you wanted to hear. Woo-wee. Let's see what else he can blame.
Talked about taking a foul at the end of the half. You know, we had 5 team fouls, and none of the players on the floor had a foul. But this is why things that we might draw up on a board in a huddle don't get executed sometimes, because there isn't a commitment to listening. And we lack discipline in terms of listening to what some of the things that I'm trying to get across to the team. So my voice is not working with this group, and that was a great example of it.
That's the coach speak of, I suck at what I do. I'm blaming my players.
Obviously, you got the wrong guys.
But he's had this conversation before. He's used this. I didn't have time to go back and look at it because it was a little hard. A few years ago, he said the same thing. They're not listening to me. I'm struggling getting through to them.
Right.
Going into this year, it was these guys all want to listen to me. These guys want to play hard. And now he's changed his tone. What's the constant here with Bobby Hurley as a head coach and the team not listening to him and him not being able to coach him and coach them up, Dale? What's the one constant?
Bobby
Hurley. Folks.
But he's
in his last deal of his contract.
Yeah,
There's no
it's the last
excuses
year.
anymore. Wrap up this season. I don't care if you have to hire some coach from some high school to come in here and coach college. He can't be any worse.
Well, when you see this quote, and forgive me for butchering his name, ASU forward Santiago Truitt
Yes.
said players' receptivity was strong early in the season, but that it hasn't been easy as of late. We're still trying to be receptive. Of course, it's gotten harder. Right now, it's really hard to be receptive.
Yeah.
But we just got to keep listening to Bobby. Talked about that.
Was that a quote from last night?
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks ago, when they lost to a couple teams that they shouldn't have. A couple of the players, then they beat Kansas State, and a couple of players were like, "Oh, finally, our hard work and coaches' things finally got through to us." It's been a theme here lately that they're not listening to Bobby Hurley. And why, if you were, okay, this is going to sound disparaging. Maybe I mean it, maybe I don't. I don't know. But you're dealing with kids where you pulled up, right? Pig Johnson came up from IAA, or whatever it is, basketball. You got a lot of Division II kids playing at this level that Bobby's giving them a chance. You got European kids here as well. If you can't get those guys coached up and they don't want to listen to you,
Yeah.
you're never going to get anybody better. You're not going to get a 4-star or 5-star listening to you.
You've
Ever.
got the wrong guys there. Now, does that mean you have the wrong guy
No,
getting them there?
I would argue, yes, that's what I'm going to argue here. I'm going to argue because it's been, you heard him right there. Since COVID, it's been a sterile environment and they can't win at home. That means either the wrong kids are here or the wrong coach is here and can't coach them up. It goes to the Cardinals. I was thinking about this last night. When was the last time we went into a season and at the end of the season, somebody was better and played and coached up at the end of the season and not regress?
You mean like Indiana?
Yeah. Just Bobby Hurley. Name me one player coming into the season where you were hyped up to see, and at the end of the season, they outperformed what you expected.
Every 5-star that's come in here has regressed. And the last quote
regressed.
in this article, the light at the end of the tunnel, it's hard to see a lot of light, Hurley said.
Yeah.
I love the group, though, even though they don't listen, even though they don't pay attention.
He goes, compared to some of the teams I've had here,
It's like, well, what kind of guys are you recruiting?
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Give me a 2-star who's going to bust his hump.
Bobby Hurley needs to go back to Buffalo or one of those schools and have success there again. Those kids will listen to you, apparently. It's just, we just got to get through the rest of this season. Get rid of Bobby Hurley. And like I said, I don't care. Bruce always says it. He's a Bobby Hurley fan. We'll have to get Bruce's take tomorrow. He'll be here tomorrow on this. And we'll have these videos again for him. But the question you got is, well, who are you going to replace him with? Does it matter at this point?
I don't care at this point.
Go hire some coach from Chandler High School.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on them. It's just they're not ready to step up to the college level as a head coach. Hire a successful high school coach to come in here and coach this team. I don't care who you bring in here.
Do you think Kurt Signetti could coach Indiana football and ASU basketball?
Wouldn't that be something? Well, you'd have to miss half the season with the football season. It's just, you're seeing in real time. I say this all the time with football coaches. Bruce Snyder did this at ASU. You know, they had those couple successful years.
Yeah.
And then the next year, he does something stupid against Oregon where he doesn't call timeout. And and the clock winds down and he ends up losing the game. And after the game, they go, hey, why didn't you call timeout in that situation? You had one. And he goes, I had a timeout? And I went, yep, Bruce Snyder's being fired.
Well, how about
That's Bobby Hurley right there.
How about hiring the assistant coach for Bobby Hurley that took over for him?
Well, here's the question I got for you, Dale. In all honesty, is Lou's waiting to come in here?
He's
Lou,
chomping at the bit.
Well, because he usually gets to sit down. Lou, Dale's joining us today, so that's why you don't have a seat yet.
Yeah.
But here's
I
my
want to talk about Krejci.
Here's my question for you. he did that.
Krejci.
He doesn't even. He's studying up on UFC.
Yeah.
But here's my question for you, Dale. Do you get rid of Bobby Hurley now and promote Coach Irv, and just see if anything changes? It's not going to get better the rest of this year.
I've never been a proponent for firing a coach in the middle of the season because very, very, very few times has anything ever changed.
That's what I'm saying. What's the worst case? Nothing changes?
Yeah, but
this team is not listening to Bobby Hurley. The coach just admitted it. The players are admitting it. It's not going to get better.
But,
so do you just, it's his last contract. Do you just go, hey, go home and sit at home. We're going to have somebody else change the voice here, and let's just see.
But if
changes.
you're that assistant coach and you see the way that the shape of this program, do you even want to take that on?
That's
going to be on my head coaching record.
Check with them first. Well, you saw how they played when Coach Irv went into that one game.
Yeah,
excitement, enthusiasm. To the point,
a different energy.
It was a completely different game.
Yeah.
But here's my next point. We've chronicled here, and we always point out Bobby Hurley's freakouts, his technicals, his overreactions. And I've been alluding to it all along. You eventually tune out. The guy that yells at you constantly, you eventually tune out.
Yep.
Like the guy that's out of control and stuff like that, you eventually tune out. Oh, there he goes again. You see it in marriages, right? Where the wife's like walks off when the husband's about to blow a stack on somebody, because the mashed potatoes weren't mashy enough for him. And the wife just gets up and walks off. Doesn't want anything to do with it.
No, as a player,
That's where we're at now.
As
That's
a
where we're at.
basketball player, I had more. I've told you before, I had more of a temper playing basketball than football, which probably doesn't make any sense.
No, it does to me because football, you're able to take that anger out on people.
But
I think that makes sense.
But when you see your head coach 2 minutes, a minute and a half into the game, yelling, screaming, ranting, raving over a possible travel
Not
call,
coaching you, but yelling about something 9 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half.
You just look at him and go, what are you doing?
Yeah, you just go, like my kids do that to me sometimes when we're out. They just go, ugh, and they just like knock it off. Ethan will literally be like, oh, what are you grumpy for?
Was that you? My mashed potatoes aren't mashy enough.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I had to send my steak back last night.
Oh, dude, never, ever, ever do that.
It was that or I wasn't going to eat it. I ordered it. So at Texas Roadhouse, I ordered my steaks medium well. Lou's reacting. No, hear me out. I like my steaks medium.
Yeah.
But Texas Roadhouse isn't always accurate on the temperature. And sometimes they come out on the raw side of things. And I don't like gummy meat. I can't stand it. I don't like it. This one came out like almost raw. It was cooked perfectly on the outside, but the inside was like gooey. Like there was still blood on the top of it. And I was like, yeah. So there's no way. Normally, Lou, I would try to just like eat it and like, there was no way I was eating this. It would have been just chewy, and I hate that about it. So I had to send it back. I was like, oh, why did I do that?
My first job ever, I was a dishwasher for 2 nights. And the first night I'm in there washing dishes, and these busboys are coming in acting like they're the big cats, and they just throw trays of stuff at me in the dishwasher. And but meanwhile, I'm looking over at the chef, and I did see one steak being given back. Yeah, that steak was thrown on the ground. It was stepped on. It was flipped over.
My floor steak tasted well after it came back
it
out.
might have been spit on. And so
No.
I will never do.
He missed this one by a lot.
But my second night, I told one of the busboys that if you throw another thing of trays at me, it's over. And somebody else did it, beat him up, got fired. Said, I don't think I was long for dishwashing anyway.
Yeah, I'm done there. Yeah. I know my floor steak tasted excellent. Guys.
Oh, well, a little spit sometimes.
Here's the worst part. I cut it open because I was like, even Autumn was like, he said, and Autumn's like, you ain't gonna like that. I hate gummy. When like hamburgers, like when they're too red, they're like, oh, they're gummy. I don't like that taste and everything. But no, I did it. I had to do it. There have been other times at Texas Roadhouse I just swallowed, but this was too red.
You're not sick today.
But here's the other side of it. Well, here's the thing I was gonna bring up. That stomach bug I had last week, it had to be from what I ate on Thursday. I don't remember what restaurant we went to. Right. But we went to a restaurant and it messed me up for several days. To the point where I wasn't feeling right on Monday still.
Yeah.
Yeah, my stomach's been upset since last night. So the floor steak at Texas Roadhouse.
I literally saw the guy spit on the steak after he threw it on the ground.
Here's the bad part. Is I cut it open and then they took it, back there, and they brought back the same. And I'm like, don't you just replace the steak?
No, not a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, Donovan's would have replaced it.
Yeah.
But I also would have ordered it medium at Donovan's because I know it's coming out at the right temperature. This wasn't even close, folks. Dale, I've had an upset stomach since last night. Yeah. So you might have to carry Lou because I'm going to have to go do something here. We'll talk ASU and U of A football schedule tomorrow. We'll have more time tomorrow with Dale as well because those are out. And U of A's got a tough beginning of the schedule here coming up. But so does ASU. So we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. But let's get it started. UFC's this week, folks. Uncle Lou's going to join us next here on The Main Event.
Will you just pull up wager? Will you just pull up wager?
These guys are
we on?
arguing over here. Yes, sir, we
We're not
are.
arguing. I want Lou to be
Lights,
comfortable.
camera, action, baby.
I know. I'm like these. I'm just like pointing right here. Second hour main event. A little chaos here as we're talking. As here at the beginning of this second hour, I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran as well over here, Dale Hellestray. And then this guy, get him up and close and personal today. Uncle Lou's joining us as well every Thursday at 9 o'clock. Excited to have him on here. Dale's been studying UFC all morning, knowing that he was going to be here all day today.
Yes.
His other thing, so he's ready for the hard-hitting questions, Lou. But before we get into that, first UFC fight this week of this year on Paramount Plus. No more pay-per-views. So you still have to pay for Paramount Plus, but not the $80 at least from that side. So we're excited about that. But since it's the first UFC weekend, tell everybody where they can find you, your plans this week, your website, all of that stuff.
Okay, so Lou Finicaro's my name. Gamblu.com is my entity on social media. There's the web page, www.gamblu.com. And the top band there will give you all the information you want to know about me, then some. You see the daily blog reflects this week's UFC fight card. And so Steve and Dale are good enough to have me on each week to come and give a gambler's perspective to sports, at least the sports I cover. The ones I don't cover, I can barely talk about. And so on the top of that webpage, and as we're scrolling through there, you can see the sports I work, which is NFL, College World Series, the hockey playoffs, which I'm just starting to warm into right now, and the UFC, of course, which is starting this week with all kinds of things to say about that. But really what Steve allows me to do each week is draw attention to the oldest mission in the United States, which is located south of Phoenix here and just a touch south of Tucson, the San Xavier Del Bach mission. These people are doing great work down south of Tucson. There's a great community there. It's the oldest mission in the States, like I say, 1690-something was when it was built. There's a link there that Kobe's flashing that if you're interested in checking it out and maybe even making donations, you can do that. We just made a donation to the San Xavier Del Bach mission as well. We just paid for our young student, Victor, in the Dominican, his tuition this year. Now, when we started with Victor, he was this little fifth grade boy. They give me pictures of him once a year. And he just sent a Christmas card, and he's a young man now. So it's really awesome to see the growth and development of him. And it's really great to be able to come on here, share my perspective on sports with you guys, but more importantly, for Steve to allow me to highlight the San Xavier
Absolutely.
mission.
I don't even care about your sport. That's all I care
That's
about.
right.
So
No,
get out of
that's
here now, Lou. We don't need
you don't
here.
need me after that. I've done my work.
Well, you're excited. You got a little hop in your step.
Oh, no question
It's been
about
how
it.
long since the fight's
He's
gone
over
on?
here fencing with
Probably
the stick we got
5
in here and
weeks.
everything.
5 weeks.
5
okay.
weeks or so. But what I'm also
in
excited
December,
about is that it's NFL championship weekend, and I got a lot to say about that. But to get Dale here and to have him, because, I mean, at least 3 times you sat in NFC championship five times.
Yeah, I'd say at least
playoff
4,
weeks, playoff locker rooms, the coaching, the whole bit. And so hopefully our dialogue today will allow Dale to loosen up. I'll go get a can of WD-40 and we get some stories and some insight from him too, because that's always really well taken.
Absolutely. We're going to do NFL later on because it's the 2 games and everything. But look, this is a big fight this weekend. Paramount Plus.
Before we get into this fight, I got one quick because I follow you on Twitter.
Oh, thank you.
And you're interesting.
My cryptic message.
Really quick, everybody follow Lou on Twitter this year because the stuff that used to be behind the paywall, he's going to put out on Twitter now. So you'll get some insight, whether you gamble or if you just want the information to look smart. You know, when you're talking to your coworkers, follow Lou on Twitter because that information is going to be there this year for free.
And you have to decipher code language sometimes.
Yes.
But I did say you make a remark. The UFC, are they rewarding more violent fighters versus grapplers? I saw something on Twitter about that. The bonuses, or I don't understand how that works, but you made a comment about No
Yes,
more
I-
grapplers.
Yes, and that's really an overriding theme, and it really is exemplified no better than right now, because going from the ESPN format and pay-per-view to Paramount, this is live TV, as the fighters are calling it, and they're totally thrilled to be on this new platform. The UFC is thrilled to have a non-pay-per-view platform. They're going to have way more eyeballs on their product with this Paramount thing.
Absolutely.
And when you look at the whole situation, Dale, Paramount makes out great because they've got all these young 13 to 35 age demographics
They're getting the demo they want.
right after them, and all their, of course, they pump their prices up a touch, but that's okay. It's still so much cheaper than what they're paying. But the UFC is a monopoly, and it's a monopoly because let me take that back. The UFC is almost they're a very, very dominant employer. I wanted to use something that is not appropriate, but these fighters for the UFC are not represented. They have always been at the beck and call of the strong ownership. It's my contention, and it's fact, that the UFC makes such great profit margins off the fact that they abuse their fighters financially. And that isn't an opinion. That's fact. And today or yesterday, I put out a Justin Gaethje comment. I think it was this morning. And I basically, Gaethje's like, hey, I'm not getting paid $1 more on this Paramount fight card, though I'm the headliner, than I did before.
And UFC is making more money by switching to Paramount.
Way more money.
Paramount than
And
they were
Dana
at the
White's
ESPN.
out there. Now, listen, Dana White allows me the opportunity to work. And I have tremendous things to say about that organization when they got it coming. And they got it coming a lot. But if there's something that has to be said, few will stand up to him or them. I've not had a lot of reaction with them, except that I used to be a credentialed media person,
Yes.
and now they won't credential me anymore because I've been outspoken
Really?
about this very subject. And here's the subject. While Dana White says, oh, yeah, everybody's going to make more money, we're going to trickle it down to the fighters, that is 110% hogwash. Okay, it's hogwash. They were alluring to Paramount because of the gross amounts of profits they can make. And everything for them, TV costs, travel costs, airplane costs, insurance, all that's the same and rising just like it is for every American. The one thing that isn't the same is the fact that there's no representation for those fighters. They get abused. They have this Contender Series show that each year brings in 18 to 25 new fighters into the UFC. Those 18 to 25-year-old fighters that make it to the UFC will fight for nothing to get into the UFC and start to try and earn $6,000 to show up, $6,000 to win. That's like a jackpot for them.
Right.
Okay. And meanwhile, when you get 20 or 30 of these people willing to work for 6 and 6, the 5-year guy that's blood, sweat, and tears and giving them all the action they can give, and he's 20 to show up and 20 grand to win, they get squeezed. Because if I say no, they want me to fight Mike Tyson. I don't think that's good for my career. If I say no, I get shelved for 6-8 months, don't get to fight at all. It's really not a healthy thing for the athletes whatsoever, and I'm not afraid to stick up for them. If it was the other way around and the athletes were taking advantage of the UFC in some capacity where the UFC couldn't function and put on 40 shows a year, I would be critical of the athletes.
Right.
I'm just looking out for my own self-interest, but yet when you take it a step further, it's a shame how these athletes are getting abused, and there's no way it's going to change.
Explain the violent thing. Like you
So,
get,
so what Paramount needs and what Paramount wants and what Dana White needs and Dana White wants, and he's made it clear for some time because they own bonus performance of the night, KO of the night. So they want
Fight of the
they
night.
want violence. They want guys quivering on the ground. That's what makes the crowds go. And so when you got guys from Dagestan, and I have asked renowned world-class gym owners, hey, are you worried about the fact that these wrestlers like Dagestanis or wrestling specialists that haven't quite developed any jiu-jitsu or striking yet are going to get either discriminated against, maybe that's not the right way to say it,
Well, they get left behind.
or they're not going to get opportunities in fights because not only does the UFC not want to see two guys rolling around on the ground, but Paramount's not going to want it either. And
I don't wanna see it.
no does anybody want to see that. Now,
Boring.
you get two world-class or a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist against a Dagestani wrestler, nothing more exciting for me to watch than that drama unfolding. But it doesn't produce violence, blood, or quivering. And so we're going to see less and less of that. What are we going to see more and more of? We're going to see more and more of the UFC with their matchmakers playing puppeteer and trying to create matchups that are going to put butts in seats and sell pay-per-view, sell their product. There's two examples of it on this fight card. When we get to those fights, I'll highlight it. It's all about magnetism. It's all about popularity, and it's all about the violence. And so if you can come and just wail away and make a few wins, you're going to streak and soar right to the top. If you're a wrestler and you only wrestle and you're not violent or trying to make actionable finishes from the top, you're going to be cut out and left behind.
Wow.
I don't like it when they put two wrestlers together because then they're just on the ground the whole time. But I can handle a striker and a wrestler going at it.
Sure.
Because that's kind of a strategy deal, going into this as well. So it's just interesting, that they manipulate that way, which kind of leads you to the point of, man, they're manipulating these matchups.
Well, there's two cases on this card where they've manipulated the matchups, and in this case, we know who they want to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
you talk about
not
that a
going
lot.
to tell me that I'm going to overlook that in my handicapping. I'm not going to overlook that.
Okay.
I know who they want to win.
Really? Okay.
You know why? Because I know what the next fight is. They don't want Phillips Milk of Magnesia against their top champion next fight. They want fire against ice. They want action. And so if we know, and I'm an old person, okay? I lived through this in the 70s and 80s with boxing. I've seen this happen before. These young UFC people now at 35 haven't seen this before. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen, and that is that the UFC is going to try and match make based on who they want to win. And what follows after that? Close decisions where the guy they want to win starts to win. I'm not saying anything other than that, but I've seen this picture before.
Yeah. Speaking of violence in this fight, to help Dale out here as well when he's watching this, if he can figure out how to start Paramount Plus this weekend.
Oh, I did it earlier this week,
figured
just
it
so
out?
that there's no kinks, because I don't know how to do that.
The larger the fighters, the greater the chance of finishes, kind of like boxing, the heavyweight, like Mike Tyson can knock people out like no other out there. And we have a bunch of 170-pound and above cards or fighters on this card going into this. So it kind of tells you what they've set up on this card this weekend as well, coming our way. And then you got some fast guys here as we get closer to the fast hands, I guess we could say, coming closer here as we get to the top of the card as well. So let's get into it here first. I mean, I'll leave you here with the early prelims. So even with these numbered fights, even though it's Paramount Plus, no more $80 pay-per-view fee. But it also means early prelims are up-and-coming fighters, guys I'm not as familiar with as a casual UFC guy and everything. So I'm going to leave it to you on these early prelims, other than Michael Johnson. None of these other guys I've really noticed here at all in these early prelims. So is there one we should pay attention to?
Yeah, I think there is. Fugit and Ty Miller. Fugit's a veteran, fought good competition. Miller is a contender series guy coming right in. And Miller opens 300. He's now 425. That number's out of whack. The
As
kid,
a favorite, right?
The kid Fugit, yes. The kid Fugit that has the experience could be live here. I don't know if you take him as an underdog, but you could look at him on the over because it could be a decision very easily. Fugit showing up to fight well. The next fight, Smotherman and Turkios. Turkios, a wrestler with absolutely pillow hands, no power whatsoever. He's herky-jerky. He's kind of awkward on the feet. Smotherman is strong, got good natural power. He's a striker, can't wrestle a lick. Can Turkios get him down? Can Smotherman keep it up? That's the intrigue in that fight. But the fight I draw you to is the heavyweight fight, Freeman against Hokut. This dude, Hokut, is a violent, violent man. He comes from Contender. He's had one UFC fight. He's undersized, 35-40, 235, 240-pounder fighting these 255, 265-pound guys night of the fight. He's fast, he's violent, he's game, he's willing, and when he touches you, you go. You don't want to miss that fight. Hokut's a favorite for a reason, minus 245. Surely use him in a parlay play. That would be the prelim look.
Okay,
Talk real
perfect.
quick about the Contender Series. Is it kind of like the you're trying to get your PGA Tour card, and so you go to you go play on the minor tour, and they say, hey, if you win 5 tournaments or whatever, you get to move on to the PGA.
Yeah.
Is it something like that?
It is, Dale. What they do is they're fighting for LFA or some other organization, PFL, whatever, and they're diagnosed and determine that they're qualified to make Contender Series, which they all want to do because they make Contender Series and they win and they look great. They got a shot at the big boys. And in the Contender Series, they make absolutely no qualms about you have to be violent and finish. Anybody trying to wrestle or anybody working for decision on Contender Series, he just says, you need more time, you need more work. But what they want to see is a guy go in there and just stand there toe-to-toe and throw. And even if he gets dropped 3 times, gets up, still throws toe-to-toe, and loses the fight, there's a chance he's going to get signed
we just saw
because
that.
of the style of the fight that he's providing for them. They want violence, and that has to be an understanding for those watching this, especially with Paramount moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw that where 2 fighters, they basically knocked each other out. Both went to the hospital in the Contender Series, either last season or the one before, and he gave them both awards, gave them both bonuses, and then said they're both going up to
That's
the
right.
UFC because they literally were just standing there just pounding on each other and everything. So early prelims, you say the other 2 aren't ones. I mean,
Well-
pay attention to them, but they're not going to be stellar.
They have those listed as early prelims.
Well, like I said, it kind of this shuffled. I don't know if the UFC has updated, but I know this shuffled a little bit with the cancellation of the fight. So.
Could well
yeah.
have, but we'll talk. Michael
So
Johnson.
Go ahead and go to the
I'm
next
just going
round.
to look.
then. Yeah.
We'll do a glaze over the ones and quickly, and
Yeah, just
and we'll spend time
Tell
on
us
the
on
other
the
ones.
guys we don't know. Tell us why we should tune in early to this.
Well, a lightweight bout between Alexander Hernandez, the great white ape, and Michael Johnson's a great fight. But last year, when I did my research in reviewing my year, there were more than a handful of fights where I took a fighter 6 years older or more against the younger fighter, thinking that the experience and the matchup was good, and I failed and I was wrong. And there was enough of them for me to make the note in my mind that this year I'm going to really be careful taking fighters 6 years older or more than the other fighter. In this case, Michael Johnson's 39, Alex Hernandez 33. Michael Johnson's got natural power. He's a great fighter coming off a win in his last against Daniel Zellhuber, a fight he was a big underdog in. When Michael Johnson's on, he's good. He wobbled Khabib in his fight years ago. Hernandez has been inconsistent, especially at 145 because he can't make the weight. This is 155. He's a little undersized here, but he's got some good momentum. Won his last 3 or 4 fights here. This should be a really interesting fight. But you've got Hernandez opens minus 300. Now he's minus 150.
Minus 162 on FanDuel
Okay, so
right now, on DraftKings. excuse me.
So we're seeing some love come in for Hernandez. That's because of recency. They've seen him win more. They're getting money on Michael Johnson because his price is going down. And what scares me there is Johnson's age. But this should be a good fight and one in which you see 2.5 rounds minus 150 or 160 to the over.
Minus 188 right now on DraftKings.
I think this could be a finish here. So if I was looking to bet this fight, maybe I'd take one guy to finish the other, because if it's early, Michael Johnson will catch Alex Hernandez. If it goes a little bit later, Michael Johnson could slow a little bit and Hernandez could catch him. Next fight is Alex Perez and Charles Johnson. Now, the Sneak Teep podcast is a podcast I do that looks at opening lines for all these UFC fights. And on last Sunday, I was watching the games. I was like, oh, dadgummit, I got to do my podcast.
Gotta get back in the mood.
I got to get back in my rhythm. So we pumped the podcast out, and because there's no paywall now, I can give releases whenever I want. If you look on Twitter a week or so ago, I gave one for the next fight card. And on the Sneak Teep podcast this week, I gave one for this fight card. And if you're interested, you got to go to the Sneak Teep podcast to pick it up. Anyway,
Perfect plug.
I will
Perfect
say
plug.
this is one of the fights that's on it, and it's Alex Perez against Charles Johnson. Alex Perez has had since 2020 like 5 fights, really inactive. He's fought some injuries, but he's had a hard time being active. What's one reason? Maybe he said no to a fight, and they put him on the shelf.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so Charles Johnson is going to be 3 inches the taller man. They're about the same age. He is 5-inch reach advantage, 2-inch leg advantage. Charles Johnson has defeated current champion Joshua Van at 125 via KO a few fights back. He's violent, he's strong, he's big, and he's elite. And the fighter he's fighting, Alex Perez, because of his inactivity, and he's a little bit more of a grappler wrestler, is going to have a hard time, I think, in the large cage that they're using at T-Mobile, 30-foot. I think especially 125ers, that's going to look like 2 flies in a barrel. So it's going to be hard for him to get inside the pocket to try and engage with Charles Johnson. And for that reason, Charles Johnson price currently...
Well, right now he's at minus 170, and I mean that's come down, hasn't it?
It has, because when I took him, it was minus 200.
Yeah.
That's a value there. I think Charles Johnson's in real good position for this fight. I see the total surely with those guys 2.5 over 200 or
minus 185 over 2.5.
Yeah, I think if it doesn't go over 2.5, Johnson finds him, which could be likely. But I use Johnson in that fight.
Quick question. You said so this guy's fought 5 times in 6 years.
Since 2020. Meanwhile, Johnson's had 11 fights.
I was going to say
double the amount.
If you're just the average, decent, above average per year, 3?
Yes, sir.
3 fights, okay.
Yeah, and if you're knocking guys out and they love you, you'll get 4.
Okay.
Because they'll squeeze every drop out of you till you get KO'd,
Till you
and
fall.
then they'll throw you in the trash can like you're just simple meat. I'm just I'm just saying it like it is, and people might think I'm harsh. Watch it for a little while.
No, it's amazing. That's why I say with the NFL, I always say they need to do more behind the scenes on the NFL so people can actually see how cold the NFL is and stuff like that, and kind of open your eyes a little bit. And I think that'll endear people more to players and
think
things
of
to that
how it would
effect,
be if
so.
there was no union. Dude.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Again, the union was so weak back when I played. Started off. I mean, I saw guys actually get pulled off of buses on the way to a road game and get cut because it's the 4th game, and if they play the 4th game,
now they're on the
they qualify for their salaries guaranteed, and they get another year on their pension.
There it is.
Yeah, pulled off the bus.
Right.
Dang, Ralph Wilson.
And
There's another
that
callback
guy
there.
was in the corner in the back.
And then that cut down day, it's amazing how many people would hide.
Oh yeah.
And you'd go, they're gonna find you.
It's all they're gonna go.
No, they ain't.
They're like, we can't find him. We're gonna keep him now instead.
You might as well keep him.
So next up, we're talking about the prelims here. By the way, the early prelims, I didn't say this, start at 3:45 p.m. on Saturday. Main card 7 p.m. here, folks. So good afternoon. Good substitution for football coming up. But Krylov and Bukauskas.
Light heavyweights, and Modestas Bukauskas, a Lithuanian fighter, he's won 3 or 4 in a row against dubious competition. Krylov on the other side, he's fought good competition but been finished twice. And so this fight is very intriguing because I believe Krylov has advantage in mixed martial arts over Bukauskas. I think he's a slightly better fighter, but if you're looking at records, you naturally think, oh, this is Bukauskas. Bukauskas opens minus 200. He was minus 155 in
Minus
the week.
155 right now?
And he's minus 155 right now. So there's been a little money come in on Krylov,
yeah.
and I tend to agree with that. I think Krylov is in a good position here against Bukauskas in a fight that should be violent. These guys are both strikers, both 6'3", both 205, both about 77, 78. The difference, I think, will be that Krylov does have a little wrestling. Not that he may use it, but if you are a wrestler, once you take a fighter down, you really hold great advantage, because if you just feint for that takedown, it forces the defending fighter to drop his hands and get into a posture to try and keep the fight standing, in which case you fake the takedown and come up with some kind of shot. You maybe create an opening for yourself. So these are big men. These are violent men, and this is a fight you don't want to miss, but I do lean to the underdog, Krylov.
Our first fight here, over under 1.5. Under 1.5 is minus 140 right now. So Vegas is saying there's something big's going to happen early.
Yeah, and I tend to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think this could take. I would look at fight starts round 2 or the over there a little bit, perhaps.
Perfect. Next up, we got Gautier and Polyaev.
Pulayev, a Russian vice grip, not great striking. And that's a bad recipe, because this Atiba Gautier, he's an African. He's 23 years old. He's 5 years the younger man. He's from Cameroon. This dude here is, when you look at him, it looks like they chiseled him out of granite. He's fast. He's explosive. He's young. And he's profusely powerful. If he hits you in the chest, you break your ribs. Yeah. If he hits you in the shoulder, the other arm falls off. I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. This dude is maybe the most exciting, violent fighter I've seen come into the UFC in 10 years. He has knocked everyone that faces him out in the first round. Now they give him a real tough, durable, experienced Russian grappler. The Russian grappler going to have to find a way to bury his forehead on Gautier's chest so that he can't get out and try and hit him. And that will be the cat and mouse in this fight. Can the Russian get in and negate the young man from Cameroon's power and swing? Or can the young man use that 30-foot cage, keep distance, and knock this dude's head into the third row? Probably the latter. This is probably a 1.5
it's a 1.5.
as well.
Minus 200. Under 1.5 is minus 200. I didn't mean it.
Right. No, that's okay, because I know you got those those current numbers. What I would look to here, and it could get you hurt, is fight starts round 2, and that'll be a plus number. So what you're going to do here is you're going to hope that Pulayev comes out and does the Forrest Gump, runs in a circle for 5 minutes, and round 2 starts, and then he gets knocked out, because more than likely he's going to get knocked out. You just hope he can make it to round 2.
Here's my big question for you, at least according to the UFC site. What did this fight open with? Gautier minus 1,000 is what it says on my screen, but it's not always accurate.
900.
900, okay,
yes.
because now Gautier's minus 900 right now, so it hasn't moved at all from that level.
Not a lick. For 3 weeks it hasn't moved.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is, I do find that a little interesting with the movement we've seen so far in some other numbers.
I think they look at it like me, Steve. Yeah. They know Gautier's going to win. They just don't.
Just
maybe
a matter of
know
when.
Yeah.
On that side. Then we got Nurmagomedov.
Why do you even say the names?
Figueiredo.
Just call him Umar.
Just let Lewis do that.
Okay,
it's part of the game.
This is a bantamweight fight at 135, and the bantamweight division's interesting because Peter Yan just beat Merab Dvalishvili, and Merab is a buzzsaw machine, but it was Merab's 4th huge fight in a calendar year. And even the machine, which is Merab's nickname, you're human. That he fought Umar, O'Malley twice, and Corey Sandhagen, all top 5 guys, 4 of them in a year. Your body can't do that, and for that reason, we had Peter Yan in December against Davalishvili. And it was a spot-on great call because of that. Merab now learned that he can. Anyway, you got Merab, Jan, and Umar Nurmagomedov all at the top of this division. And Umar is next in line. He's the champ. We've already bet him to be bantamweight champion 12/31 of 2026, meaning at the end of this year, Umar Nurmagomedov is your bantamweight champion, and I feel very confident about that. However, a little shell game going on here because Umar is facing Deiveson Figueiredo, the ex-flyweight champ at 125, who's moved up. This fight opened Umar minus 800. He's minus 2,000 now.
Yeah,
Right?
I was saying minus 1450. You're doing a heck of a job selling a fight with the 1450 favorite here.
Well, I'm selling it to you because he's going to run through Deiveson Figueiredo like poop through a goose, and then he's going to be calling for Peter Yan. He wants to fight for the championship. However, there's going to be one little wrinkle in that plan, and we'll get to that when we get to the main event.
Real quick, so you've already bet a guy to be the champion at the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
He did that last year, too.
I know, but does it have any guardrails on it? Like, does he have to fight a minimum of 2 times? Does he have to fight 3 times?
No, if on January 1 of 27 he's the champion of the division, I win my bet. And if he's not, I lose it.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. And I love those kinds of bets because before Merab and Peter Yan fought, Merab was a huge favorite.
Yes, he was.
It was projected that Umar would fight Merab next. And when you looked at that fight, Umar was minus 200 or minus 180. He was the favorite over Merab. But when you look at Umar being the champion at the end of the year, was plus 300.
Right.
So I knew he was going to probably get the shot at the champion, Merab. I didn't realize at the time Merab would lose to Yan. And so now I go into this fight knowing I've got the best man in the division, in my opinion, and I've got Peter Yan waiting here for the winner of this fight and one other one that we're going to get to. But the difference is Umar is a wrestler that can strike. He's a Dagestani, and he is a unbelievably apt mixed martial artist. But he ain't Sugar Sean O'Malley, which is a lightning in a bottle to the UFC, and we'll get to that fight.
Absolutely. Over under on this fight's 2.5 minus 175 to the over decision. Because you said he's going to run through him. Now it's a bantamweight, but that's obviously telling me that's a late finish or a decision.
It's kind of how I view it, Steve.
Okay.
I think Umar will finish that fight. I don't want to discount Figueiredo, a former champion, but he's a former champion at 25. Figueiredo is now 38 years old, 8 years older than Nurmagomedov. That's why the price is what the price is. I don't believe that goes to decision. Okay. Surely Umar does not want it to because it
wants to be flash, right? Yeah.
It dilutes his ability to call for the championship.
Yeah, if he wins in a split decision, it's going to look kind of weak calling for the champ.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be harder.
Exactly. So that makes sense. Let's get into that main event here as well, because I mean, there's some names on this, folks. As we get into this here, Arnold Allen and Gene Silva is the first one coming up here.
Jean Silva is that dude that barks. Yeah. He's from the Fighting Nerds team in Brazil. And again, the whole Fighting Nerds team are
they wear the glasses.
They're really unbelievably violent finishing fighters, and that's why the UFC loves them. They're printing shirts about them. And this guy's the figurehead. He's cross-eyed crazy, this dude. And he fights that way. And in his last fight, he was beating the tar out of Diego Lopez, a fighter we had in that fight. And he was so aggressive, he ran into a spinning elbow and got finished. Well, he learned his lesson. He's got to listen to his corner and be a little bit more patient sometimes. He learned his lesson from the loss. And in the interviews this week, he's ready to go. And this dude is dangerous. And he's fighting this guy, Arnold Allen. And Silva had 4 fights last year. That's how much they like him. Arnold Allen's a guy that is very much like Alex Perez. And he's never been finished, but he's not getting a chance to fight a lot. And whether that's because he said no to fights or they simply don't like him, he's strong. He's durable. He's wrestling based. His striking has been improving because he understands what the UFC is wanting in him. And so this fight sets up to be way more competitive than people think. I'm seeing Silva at minus 350 or so.
Minus 258 right now.
Minus 258
And we use
Silva.
DraftKings, folks. Right
Now, this fight opened with him minus 150, so his price has doubled against Arnold Allen. But I would caution you against that. Allen has been in with elite fighters. He's won against elite fighters. He's got the tools to make this a really tough fight. I see 2.5 over minus 130.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and to me, I think Allen is a strong consideration as an underdog. I think Allen via the points is a strong consideration. You can find that on DraftKings.
Plus 3.5, plus 110.
Okay, that means if it goes to decision and Jean Silva wins each round 29-28, you're a winner. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, because the points confuse me. So under Arnold, it says plus 3.5,
That's
plus
right.
110, and
That's
then
right.
Silva is minus 3.5,
minus
130.
130. Minus
Oh, minus
150.
130. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so yeah, I just want to make sure, yeah, right, because I get
So what they're
confused on the
saying
points.
is, if you don't want to pay the big ticket on Silva, take the points if you think he's going to knock him out, because then the points don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All right, these points thing.
But you take the negative number or the positive number?
I'm saying you would take the positive number on Allen because I think it is a much more competitive fight than people think.
Sorry, I get
think
confused
he's
on
being-
the points,
I
folks.
think he's being underestimated a little bit, and many get confused on the points. Many are intimidated by him and don't use him. I've been the first to use him, and I use him well. And I like to use him in a fight like this where I feel like I have a live underdog that's going to fight his best fight and get there, and he might lose by a whisker. And if he does, old Uncle Louie going to get
You
paid.
win. Yep.
So that's
the
a good
point
fight.
side.
That's a fight you want to watch because you basically have wrestler against striker there, and the striker's fast, violent, and the wrestler's strong and durable.
And that'll be 7:15 is the first fight on Saturday here on the main card. Then we got the one women's fight that still remains on here. Natalia Silva, and then Rose is back in the ring as well. Seen Rose a few times fight here. And she's won a few times, but she's an underdog coming into this one.
Huge underdog. Started out a little tighter than that. 150 for Silva, 130 for
Minus
Rose.
380 now.
Yeah, it's just Silva's getting bombed. Silva's younger. Silva's faster. Silva's more dynamic. She's 5 years younger. She's more dynamic, a lefty, and it's going to take Thug Rose's best effort to get her out of there. Now, Thug Rose was supposed to be fighting Alexa Grasso. Grasso moved out. Silva moved in, and in many ways, this is a tougher fight for Rose than Alexa Grasso was going to be. So this will be an interesting fight to watch for you people because I'm going to go make a mustard and ham sandwich during this fight because I know it's going
Decision.
15, I know it's going 15 minutes, and I got 15 minutes to powder my nose, make a sandwich, and go get another margarita.
Yeah, over under 2.5, minus 475
To the
To
over.
the over. So leading to a decision here as well. Then we get the heavyweight fight that I've been looking forward to talking to you about. Our old buddy Waldo Cortez Acosta against the big man Derek Lewis here, battling it out here in this heavyweight fight. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, two heavyweight bombers that are they're in the mixed martial arts game, but they're not mixed martial artists.
Yeah.
They're just freaking power throwers.
Stand there and throw. And they don't have a lot of cardio, right? So it's gonna
Lewis
go quick.
doesn't. He's 40.
Yeah.
However, Lewis for 7 minutes is unusually. He's Larry Allen.
Uh-huh.
He's got unbelievable feet. He's adroit. He's explosive and unbelievable. He hits the building crumbles. I mean, this dude has it, but he only has 6.5, 7 minutes of it.
He's like a cheetah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick spurt.
He's like a cheetah with Uncle Louie's physique. Meanwhile, Waldo Cortez Acosta, 34, 6 years younger. The beast is 40. Probably a little faster. Probably a little bit better cardio. Hasn't been in with the same level of competition as Derek Lewis has. And for many reasons, I don't believe this fight should be lined as widely as it is. And it's
Minus
lined
325 to Acosta right now.
and plus 250 for the beast.
Plus 260.
Yeah, that's too much. I want to like the Black Beast here, but whoa, slow down, Lou. He's 40 and 6 years older than this guy.
Yeah.
and this is the first card of the year, I can tell you that my hesitation to take the 40-year-old will probably cause me not to bet this fight, which should tell all you people, go ahead and take Lewis, because now that I lay off him, he's going to probably win, and I'll be talking to myself at home. But I'm not going to be betting these older guys early on.
Lou, are you an ageist when it comes to UFC?
He's just tired of losing. Picking him.
Are you an ageist?
You don't like the old
are you
people.
prejudiced
Yeah.
against old
He's just
people?
I wasn't last year, and all it did was cost me my pocketbook. So this year I might be, yes.
Well, let me ask you this, because Lewis, and that's why I'm looking forward to this. Is this going to be just two big guys? They're going to wear themselves out, just hitting each other and just power and stuff. At least on the Lewis side. But over/under on this is 1.5 minus 145 to the over.
Yeah.
That kind of surprises me a little bit because I see this being not necessarily a quick fight, but like you said, maybe the second round starts, but somebody's going in and just going to be dead tired at that point. Am I wrong on this with these big boys?
Yeah, I think Lewis better do it in a round and a half. If it's under, it's Lewis.
Okay.
And you're getting better number on Lewis, just taking him straight than you're taking
Plus
the
260,
under.
absolutely.
If you like the over, you might take. If you
'cause
like Acosta, you might take the over because you're
145
getting
is a lot better than 325.
That's exactly how I'm thinking, Steve, and that's how I see the fight. If this thing starts round 3, I think Lewis is going to be a little bit tuckered, and he'll have lost some of that lightning in a bottle. So
you
to
lose
speak.
that power, right?
But the
Obviously.
younger kid may not.
Yeah, that's going to be just two guys. That's going to be fun to watch. Just two giant dudes just battling it out in there. It's going to be fun to watch. But then we get into the really fun ones here that everybody's looking forward to. Local kid up there at MMA Lab, Sean O'Malley, going up against Song Yadong here coming up. O'Malley's a favorite in this one after losing a couple fights in a row, I believe, right? With O'Malley championship
But
fights?
to Marab, I mean, there's no shame in that.
He didn't lose to a slacker.
No, especially to Marab's world-class wrestling, and O'Malley's a long, tall, lean, striking machine. But let's get this out of the way early. O'Malley has a guy in his camp named Augusto Mendez, who Taquinho, the tank. He is a 16th degree badass,
You're good.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. And he's been training with O'Malley every day for years. So O'Malley's got some BJJ and a little wrestling in his back pocket that he hasn't had to show. Now, as much as he has and he's developed in 6 years, it didn't show against Marab because Marab, when they're we grow up in Dagestan, by the time you're at your first birthday, you've had 3 wrestling matches. So Marab just comes born with it, and it didn't show against Marab, but it'll show against other less equipped wrestlers. May not show against Umar Nurmagomedov because he's like Marab, but it'll show against Jan and it'll show against others. Now, in this fight, he fights Song Yadong. Yadong is a Chinese fighter fighting out of Team Alpha Male in California. He's developed great cardio, great wrestling, and some BJJ while he's been there, but he's always been very strong power striker, maybe the top power striker in the division. The difference when these two guys fight is going to be, number one, it's a large cage, and number two, the feet. O'Malley's got the feet. I can't see Yadong being able to work his way to catch up to O'Malley in this fight. Furthermore, O'Malley was moved right up to the co-main event when we lost the co-main event, and that's for a reason. He's been a co-main event in his first fight ever in the UFC. He's been a 5-round fights forever. Yeah. This is a 3-round fight, way different to prepare for him as well. Here's what we know. The O'Malley drawing power is second to none. That's how he got this co-main event. Mm-hmm. And if he looks great and wins this fight with flair, he will step in front of Umar to get Peter Yan in the White House fight. Because why? Because it's Paramount and UFC, and they're interested in ratings. And Umar will fall second to O'Malley should O'Malley look good. O'Malley knows this, is going to try and go out there, catch lightning in a bottle, knock this kid out, or win impressively. All he has to do is win, and he's going to get Yan in a rematch. A rematch, oh, by the way, that O'Malley won in a split decision. He didn't win that fight. Mm-hmm. Jan can't wait to get
Is it easier to prepare for a 3-round fight or a 5-round
Way
fight?
easier for a 3-round fight.
That's what I thought. So that's not going to hurt. That's not going to hurt him, is what I'm getting.
No, it's going to provide him advantage, I think, because he doesn't have to pace himself.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Local kid. Only thing I worry about with O'Malley, and it's just me, is, with those last 2 losses, seeing him kind of after those fights with his social media and stuff, where, it's just kind of like, wasn't there talk of retirement by him after that last one?
He has all the money he needs.
Yeah.
He does so well on social
that
media.
always goes in the back of my head with these guys. Of might
Yeah,
retire
but he's
and
a
I'll come
fighter
back.
and he has pride and he wants one shot. He wants another shot at the champ, and he sees Jan as a guy he can beat. Merab's out of the way right now. So with my bet and Umar, I may not get the next shot. I may have to wait until the White House
After that,
card
yeah.
is over, and Umar's chance will come in the fall. Either way, I still think I'm situated well with this, and I'm also warning people that no doubt the UFC wants O'Malley to win this fight. Without question.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Make
you're
no
saying-
mistake about it.
If
people
it
buy
comes down
tickets.
to a decision, be very.
If it comes down to a close decision, and I have bet O'Malley, which he is the second leg of a parlay to Charles Johnson for me, then I'm going to feel pretty comfortable that I'm going to get the nod. Now, I'm not saying anything is scripted or prescribed, but in the 70s and 80s, they always knew where the big money fight was, and it was amazing how many times the big money fight was made.
Yeah, I mean, people buy tickets, and I would be one of those people. I would buy a ticket to go see O'Malley fight, and people tune in for that just from that perspective, which leads us to the fight Dale's been trying to read up on and pronounce the name properly here. Gaethje against Pimblett here in this one.
Gaethje and Pimblett. Gaethje, a most deserving title opportunist. He's held the interim title before. He won the BMF championship against Poirier, knocking him out, then lost it in that famous fight with Max Holloway. And in that fight, he didn't think Max could hurt him. He made a mistake there. He's admitted it. Now he's coming in knowing that this is his chance. And he said, if I blow this, because he doesn't believe his opponent is to his level or of his ilk. He says if he blows this, he's not going to be no gatekeeper and just fight guys that are going to step over him to get to the top. He's going to ride off into the sunset. Gaethje from Stafford, Arizona, really a high-end college wrestler, but he never uses his wrestling because early on Gaethje knew what the UFC wanted, and he gave it to him. And he's been giving it to him for a good 7, 8, 9 years now. But his body's taken on some attrition. Now, he gets this loudmouth punk Paddy Pimblett.
From
a
England, too.
Scouser from Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he's all talk. He's like McGregor light. But he's a good grappler. He's strong. He's big for thick for the division. And he has not fought the level of competition Gaethje has, but he has stepped up, and the UFC loves him. Why? Because he commands all of England. And even outside of England, they like his accent. They like how disrespecting he is of everyone. And there's money in his fights. And so they're putting Gaethje against him. And they're saying, okay, Gaethje, you can beat him. You'll get the next shot. But if you can't, this kid will create a super fight with the current chap, Ilya Topuria. Because Ilya Topuria and this kid Pimblett have had run-ins before, and they're dying to get after each
Out
other.
of ring run-ins.
And the UFC can't wait to get them together.
Like
So-
both watching another fight and going at it in the stands.
So
Yeah.
this is a fight that the UFC would like to see Paddy win. I said that in the fight before.
Yeah.
We better understand that. Gaethje 37, Paddy Pimblett 31, 6 years age difference. I like Gaethje. I want him to win this fight. I think he can win this fight. But I think if he's going to win it, it better go the over 2.5 because early on, I think Pimblett, Gaethje has had trouble when people can wrestle him up and grapple him up. And he's lost a couple fights via the submission. And Pimblett's a very adroit, experienced, slick submission artist. And so if you want to get cute on this fight, Gaethje KO will give you a plus price. Pimblett submission probably gives you a plus price because I see it going one of those two ways. If it's early, it could be a Pimblett submission.
Over/under. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If it goes over 2.5, it goes into that third round. If I hear the bell for round 3, I'm going to believe that Gaethje is going to have some good opportunity. Gaethje has numbing leg kicks. It's the first thing he's going to go out there and do and try and kick the legs out from under Pimblett, lose his base, then tee off on him. Pimblett gets hit. He stands with
His hands are
chin
down,
up,
yes.
and he gets hit. His technical boxing isn't that great.
It's like watching those old school boxing ones, where they were like this.
Well, you watch
Just
any
face exploded, just face exposed. For
any
everybody.
English fighter through time,
Yes.
they're all
Just
standing
stoic and
straight
standing,
up and
yeah.
erect.
That's literally
it's
how
the
he
Eastern
fights.
European way. But be that as it may, Gaethje wants to kill this kid, and this kid wants to kill Gaethje and have his pelt on his doorstep. Most of the guys that I know are taking Pimblett in this fight. For me, I think that 2.5 at minus 120,
minus 115.
minus 115.
But it's the same on over and under minus 115.
yeah, so it's a pick to 2.5. They don't know any better
Vegas
than I
is
do.
like whatever.
To me, and that's round 3. So to me, I would probably look at fight starts round 3, and I'll pay minus 130 or minus 140 for it and use it somehow, meaning that they just got to get to the start of round 3, and I would win. And I think it does. I lean to Gaethje. I lean to the over, but I'm not making a straight bet here because of the age difference, and I got stung with that.
Yeah, and Pimblett right now is at minus 230. Are people betting him up over there in the England side of things?
Yeah, he opened not only England,
but
everywhere.
here,
He's
everywhere,
popular everywhere. He opened minus 185.
Yeah.
Now minus 230. So he's seeing a little action.
Dale, he's just this guy that just runs his mouth with that English accent.
Well, I've
and you
seen
just-
some of the
You roll your eyes a little bit at it,
commercials.
but yeah.
But he's funny, and they're told I watched these fighter interviews, and they asked Patty, hey, Gaethje said he wanted to knock you out, and Pimblett's like, yeah, I can't do the accent. I heard him say that he wanted to knock me out so that I would pee me pants. He said, so I'd pee me pants. He says, I had to laugh at that. And they're like, well, doesn't that upset you? And he's like, hey, no, I'm going to fight this guy. I know that's what I want to do to him. That's what he wants to do to me.
It's going to be fantastic. Paramount Plus fight this weekend. Starts like 3:45. Here's the first early prelim fight. Main card at 7, but there's some fights there in the prelims in the 5 o'clock time frame. You're not going to want to miss as well. And Lou, you're back at it there, but let's get right back into that NFL talk as well, because obviously 2 games this weekend and everything, as we will
Who's
have to
Seattle
go into
playing?
overtime.
Who's Seattle playing in the Super
the
Bowl?
Rams.
No, and he says
in the Super Bowl.
I tend to agree with
Well,
you
they're
on
playing
that.
New England. If you're saying Seattle's going to win,
Yeah, and you know what? I have a bet on Denver at 5.5.
Yeah.
well,
How
I'm not
disappointing
afraid.
are you with Bo Nix?
I'm not afraid.
Going out?
how about you and I just have a little lunch bet? I'll take New England. You take Denver.
You give me the 5.5?
I'll give you 5.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
dinner bet?
No. let's
Oh,
make
okay,
it lunch.
I'm kidding.
I ain't spending the evening with you. Lunch is okay.
You can tolerate an
Yeah.
hour. Okay.
You're not scared of Bo Nix being out of this game? And Jared Stidham?
Well, if I didn't study the NFL like I did, I'd be real scared of it.
Yeah.
Yes, to be quite honest, because everybody hears quarterback and thinks quarterback.
A big deal.
A
A guy that took one snap this year, and that was a kneel down snap.
Not only
before
that, he used to
starting that
play
game.
for New England,
Yes.
and the Josh McDaniels knows every nuance of this
Yes.
kid. That's going to be easier for New England to plan, and that's the narrative everybody's got, except for a couple of things. Fellas, let's talk about
This
a
is where
couple-
Lou shoots down all of our thoughts, Dale.
Let's
A
talk
couple
about a
things,
couple
like
of
New
those
England
things.
has a possible MVP candidate at quarterback.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
and the kid is good, but
Yeah.
the kid's made some mistakes the last few games, huh?
Yeah.
And they're talking about the 21 ranked rushing offense for New England
Right.
going into Denver, and it's going to be colder than a brass toilet in the Yukon up there. I don't know about how much wind, and you're talking about a Denver defense that's third against the run. I think the Denver defense. This is about the Denver defense and special teams. Denver's special teams 16th, New England's 20th. New England come out right away at 5.5. I think they're down to 4.5 now. I don't care if it's me at quarterback at Denver. All I got to do is turn around and hand the ball to the running backs. I'm not certain if Dobbins is going to play or not. That would be a huge boost to Denver. But you got defense and Sean McVay, and to me already with Nix in there. Both these teams want to win by a field
Sean
goal.
Payton, by the way.
What's that?
You said McVay. Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Thank you for
No worries.
correcting me.
Just want to make sure.
So either of these teams, they want to play D, control the run game, and win by a field goal. And I think that if Denver loses, it's by a field goal. And I'm not. I think this is way easier coaching job. Denver at home in altitude with climate. I've got, let's call it a push it coach. And clearly the New England has the advantage at quarterback now. But I've got defense and I've got special teams and I got the field goal kicker. And so that's, to me, that's enough for me to say Denver. Now you look at DraftKings, Denver against Seattle is 4-1. Denver against LA 6-1. I got a little taste on each of those. Because if Denver wins the game, and I think they surely can, I'm going to win either way because it doesn't matter which. I got both guys.
Yeah.
So if I win the 4-1, I win 3 units. If I win the 6-1, I win 5 units. But Denver's got to win, and I think they will. I think Denver wins this.
I will
game.
tell you this: as a guy who's played in Denver in warm weather, in mid weather, and cold weather, the colder the weather is, the less the altitude bothers you as a player. So I would take altitude out of the equation.
Really, that's
thicker
fascinating.
air?
This is the
Yes.
kind of stuff we always try and get
No.
from Dale, and that's
No,
fascinating.
the colder it is, the easier it is to play up
What,
there.
you think that's because you're worried about the cold and not the altitude?
I have no. Obviously, we're
Well,
coming
thicker
from
air.
Dallas. Obviously, we're coming from Dallas,
Right.
The
Which
air's
is different
thicker.
than coming from New England. which
Yeah.
that's used to the cold
Sure.
weather. But it just affected us less.
Interesting.
But I don't even remember having oxygen when we played them in December on the sideline.
That's fascinating
So,
stuff. Okay, so maybe minimize the altitude a little bit.
But I like the fact that you're talking about other things than the quarterback. And Denver has played close games the entire year.
Right.
It's kind of like the Bears. They found a way to win games all the way up until this past week. And the thing that fascinates me more than anything, Lou, is even in Chicago last week. I mean, it's windy and it's cold. It's one thing if it was just cold, but if it's windy, and it really didn't affect them throwing the football that much.
It was, 15, 18 at game start. By the end, you could see there was no snow anymore.
Right.
And the wind had really, really died down. I mean, on that last touchdown pass to the tight end, I mean, when the quarterback for the Bears is 20 yards back.
Yeah.
running
I'm
backwards too.
I'm like this, thinking this game is over. We're to overtime. Because I was all over LA in the game.
Yeah.
So that was a shocker. But and did you see the clip of McVay huddling his team saying, "We are not losing this game. We are winning this." I love when they allow us in to that sacred inner circle stuff.
Right.
Because I know you've been there, and I'm always trying to get there with Dale, but you need a crowbar for
My
Christ's
big
sake.
question for this weekend is simply, I mean, the Broncos do have a chance because of their defense. I'm going to give them, because they might be able to make, the Patriots offense make some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Their Patriots running game is not good, so you can focus on the passing game a little bit more, and not worry as much on that game. So Broncos, I think, are still in. Man, if they get in a position where they're down, they're going to have to throw the ball, and that's where I get a little worried with them.
Yeah, I think they know that, and I think I would be stunned if they didn't win the coin toss that they would receive. I think they know they want to and need to
Get
play with a
score
lead
relief, yeah.
and keep that defense out there much as they can. They're going to run the ball on New England, and why would I say that? Because New England's defense 17th against the run, 25th against the pass. Unfortunate for Denver.
Yeah.
That they may
problem.
not be able to take advantage of that weakness with this kid, but you never know. I mean, again, Sean Payton saying he's going to throw it all over the yard. Josh McDaniels
It's all
knows
talk,
the
though.
quarterback. Should be. It'll be fascinating watching.
You're going to see a lot of dink and dunk from
And
Broncos
let me just say
weekend,
this:
I
as a
think.
guy that's been to a Super Bowl one, I was at Super Bowl 20. Since then, I've been to 5 NFC, AFC championship games. Why? Because the bang for the buck is so much better. You go to an NFC or an AFC championship game all weekend, you're in that city, feeling that vibe, having cocktails with their people, mulling around, and you get to watch one game, and then you go into yours, and there's fans. Or you go into your game where there's fans, watch that game, come out, you slip into a bar, watch the next game. You go to a Super Bowl, it's sterile, it's antiseptic. You think you're in the emergency ward at a hospital. It's all corporate. There's no fandom.
It's almost like you're at Desert Financial Arena, Dale.
and it costs 3 times what the AFC NFC experience costs. anyone's out there thinking about a Super Bowl, I'd tell you don't.
Right.
Go to an AFC, NFC championship game. You'll get way more bang for your buck for a third of the cost.
My biggest question is, who do the refs want in this Patriots-Broncos
Yeah, the
game?
ref thing. Listen. Here's the overall fact. I'll say it very simply. Money in big sports has gotten so huge that I'm beginning to not trust any of it.
No.
I've been
Too much,
I've been at
much
that-
money.
I've been
too
at that
much
point for
ratings.
a couple of years now.
Yeah,
I will tell you this. You know,
I've been
the national championship game on Monday night, Miami
Indiana,
and
Miami.
Indiana. I love the way that was officiated.
Let
They
'em play.
they let them play. They didn't in the fourth quarter all of a sudden start calling stuff that they didn't call in the first quarter. They just let them battle.
The way it should
for
be.
a guy that watches oh so little college
Yeah.
football, and the reason I can't watch it is because it doesn't look like the NFL that I'm so used to, and there's we know why. But that game looked like an NFL game. Both of those teams were fast and violent, playing very, very hard. It was a pleasure for me to watch two teams playing that hard. Miami showed me a ton, and I had Miami in the game, so you'd rather be lucky than good.
Right.
But I don't think that there were some puckered rear ends in Indiana because
was closer than I
Miami
thought
made
it would be.
Miami
Yeah.
made it tough.
Oh.
So we talked Broncos Patriots here. That's the first game at 1 p.m. Then you got Rams Seahawks. NFC West battle here. We know what these teams are. We know how good these teams are. Seahawks defense, if it's not the best defense remaining,
It is.
it's definitely one of two here. And the other team would be the Rams coming
Yeah.
into this. Both offenses can move the ball, score some points. They can make spectacular throws. They can make big plays late in these games. This, to me, is a heavyweight battle here.
Yeah.
And the NFC side coming to this. I favor the Rams in this game. I'm not going to lie to you here, folks. Lou, who do you got?
Why do you favor the Rams? Give me the answer and I'll dispel it.
Well, you can always shoot me down. To be honest with you, coaching and experience on the quarterback side is the reason why.
Right. Exact. Thank you. You walked right into my snare.
I know I was.
I don't
Well,
think.
Dale, am I wrong? Am I wrong, Dale?
I don't. Coaching, McVay's been to the Super Bowl and won one. Okay. Quarterback, Stafford. Okay, I'll give you slight edges there on each. However, what I got at the quarterback in Seattle is a guy that his whole career has been traded after great years, and all he's heard is that when it comes time for the big one, he can't do it. He even spit up on himself against this team earlier in the year, throwing 3 interceptions in their first game. But to me, when you get a dude that hasn't quit or left, they're chasing their childhood dream. He wants so bad to hold that trophy so that he can say, look what I did to all the people that just dispel him like
People
you
like
just
me.
did. And like the whole market is doing. For a long time, I've said, and I've used the term kick in the door. I believe that's exactly what Seattle and Darnold are going to do. Oh, they're missing Charbonnet, their other running back. Hey, name me any running back in the history of the NFL that when you told him he's not going to get 16 or 17 touches, he's going to get 22 or 24, ain't going to throw a party for you. That kid wants more touches. He's going to get them. Seattle's got the number 1 ranked defense. L.A. Rams, the 3rd ranked defense. L.A. Rams with the 1st ranked offense. Seattle's 10th ranked offense. So there might be a little edge there. However, let's not forget special teams where the Rams are 26th.
Yeah, they even fired their coach, and it
And
got better for
Seattle
1
is
week,
second.
and then it kind of faltered again. Yeah.
We watched in Philly a punt block against the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams have had to, they've traveled both weeks. This will be their 3rd week in a row facing a team in their division for the 3rd time.
Yes.
You got Seattle at the 2.5. They're the 3rd leg of a 3-team teaser that we released on VSiN earlier this week. So I'm sitting with Seattle plus 7.5 if I can get the first half of the teaser
Broncos?
in. And what is that first half, the other 2 legs? That's Denver up to 15.5 and the under 51.5 maybe there or so. And that game is
Really?
now 42. So it ticked up a little bit. People aren't aware of the weather yet.
42
So
and a
my
half.
full position here is if I can win the first 2 legs in the first game and I come alive to Seattle plus 7.5 in that last leg, I can now take the Rams as a money line. They're an underdog, right?
Plus 118.
Plus 118, and now I either win one or I win and I split, win one and lose one, or I hit them both. But if I win one and lose one, I still put money in my pocket because I'm in plus money.
Dale, settle this. Which one of us is right?
The only thing that I would have a problem with your breakdown is, and I love Sam Darnold. I'm a guy who cheered for him because he got a raw deal in New York. And now he's got some decent coaching, wins whatever,
And
13
Carolina.
games. last year.
14-2 in a row.
Yeah, and now he goes and wins a bunch of games in Seattle. There is a thing about trying too hard. And I've been in games where you want to prove something so bad that you're trying too hard and you try to do too much, and that can backfire on you.
Do you think that the coach can help mute that? Because that's my response to that. is
Yeah.
that they're going to run the ball.
Yeah,
They're going to run that
Kenneth
ball.
Walker is going to run it like crazy. When you got Smith,
Jigga Smith.
when you got him, man, it's going to be hard
you better
just
look
to run
to
it.
someone else because they're going to double
Oh,
him.
yeah, he's going to be
Well,
cut.
So
yeah,
you're
but
going
you-
to take him away and you're going to stop the run. So who else?
You're
from
going to take
Seattle?
away him. You're going to take away Puka if you're smart for the Rams. The Rams, though,
I don't know if you can take away Puka. That's the point.
well,
You only hope to contain him.
And I got to say, I've been watching NFL a long time.
yeah.
Puka Nacua is a top wide receiver in history for me because he catches everything. And if you'll remember in the game against not the Bears, the one before that, Philly maybe, he dropped what would be a touchdown pass. But I would tell you
He
that was the
mad.
first play after Stafford hurt his finger.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that timing was off. Stafford's ball comes with more air usually to Puka. You could tell he was surprised at how fast that ball got there, and that was Stafford overreacting for his finger getting banged.
Right.
I'm convinced that's what happened. I'm convinced of that. That wasn't on Puka. That was a timing thing. And if we had Stafford here right now, he'd say, Lou, you're exactly right, because that was the first play after my finger. That's my position.
Last time these guys played, it was 38-37 ball game. High-scoring affair. So does that favor the over? Is there weather in Seattle this weekend?
No.
Just
There's
cold?
There's nothing. I don't think it's even going to be cold.
And by the way, the Rams fans are going to be in this stadium, and the Rams fans are going to be loud. not gonna
I've
be a
heard that
Seattle
Rams
dominant.
fans can't find tickets.
Well, it's because Seattle's trying to restrict their people from selling them
Good
to
for
them
them.
out there, but they'll find their way in. I don't know. It's just look. This to me, the winner of this game is probably winning the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Oh, it's not
even
NFC's
close.
favored in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl. Has been.
And I think this is going to be just a heavyweight battle, whether it's high scoring or low scoring. It's going to be a heavyweight battle. I just favor the Rams because look what the Rams have done in the playoffs so far on the road, right? To beat the Panthers, they had that one catch. The tight end has to catch it there, Parkinson. Just this unbelievable throw and catch, and then you saw what they did last week as well. It's just that momentum with that Rams team is why I just kind of favor them. But it's going to be fun to watch.
Going to
And
be
this
fun
is-
to watch.
This is why the Cardinals can't find a coach,
Gonna be a
because you're in this division.
going to be a great game. And the good news is I'll be here next Thursday so that I can say, I told you so.
43 degrees in Seattle.
Yeah, that's
not bad.
Dallas.
Yeah.
That's balmy.
That's easy.
There's no weather in Seattle.
That's easy there. This is going to be a fun weekend. Lou, what else you got on football? Anything? The Broncos one kind of surprised me.
No, I mean, this is the last real weekend of earning for me. What we'll start talking about next week is Super Bowl props and and some
Coin
of that.
tosses.
Yeah, no, some of the fun things that
Gatorade
you guys
color.
already know I do every single. Dale could give you half of my bets right now. He's heard them every year for 3-4 years now. So I do the same thing. I have fun with that game. If we haven't made our money in NFL by this weekend, then I better get a new job.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's just fun on at least the gambling side for the Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I take it serious, and I don't make a bet without trying to win,
Yeah,
and I'll probably
of course.
have 5 of them, but they'll all be reduced and small and recreational because I just want to enjoy that game, eat some food, and then really start to focus on the UFC because this is the time of the year where a handicapper like me gets real busy on the VSiN network because they got nothing to talk about.
Yes.
And so they bring in
Football's
UFC,
gone.
football. The monster in the room is now gone. And then when the NCAA tournament's over, now I'm the star of the show. I get all kinds of runs. So that's kind of exciting.
You, of course, can catch him on the Visa Network. Does several shows over there Friday, right? You're still doing the Friday afternoon show?
I have a Friday morning,
Friday
it's standing spot at 6:30 Mountain Time, which is 5:30 Pacific. Today at 3:15 Mountain Time, 2:15 Pacific, I'll be on Follow the Money with my buddies Mitch and Paul talking about the UFC.
Yeah, so that's where you can catch Lou, other than here on Thursdays as well, and we'll see whether we go on this Broncos pay. To be honest with you, in that game, I'm kind of torn because the Broncos get a ton of turnovers. The Patriots obviously aren't going to win that game.
Yeah,
but the quarterback's a big deal.
If we could predict turnovers, boy, would I be good at picking.
Officially, I have New England and the Rams.
Okay, and officially you have
the first. I'm going to go Patriots in that one. I also dare I say it this way, I also think the NFL wants the Patriots back in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So something's going to fall their way. I'm not going to say it's going to be devious, anything like that. Something's going to fall their way, and I do think I'm leaning Rams at this point to beat the Seahawks.
And I'll
win the Super Bowl
go.
this
I'll
year.
go Denver, Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go.
So
Denver.
we got lunch on Denver, New England.
Well, I was going to ask you
and I'm getting,
5.5
What am I
points?
getting? 6.5.
6.5. No.
What was it? It's
Well,
on tape. What
Yeah, I
was
know.
it?
Well, he said 5.5 before, but I
5.5.
don't think he knew that. I
I'm
don't think he
kidding.
knew
I'm
that.
I'm just checking.
Did you say 4.5?
It's
Just
4.5
wondering,
now.
just wondering how many
Oh, it's
concussions
4.5
you've had.
now.
Yeah,
It's
it was 5.5 earlier.
You
It's
get
4.5
now.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Show me the line.
It's
right
4.5 right
It's
now.
4.5.
But we made the bet at 5.
No. We made the
On the
bet
air,
or
we made
whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to
It's
clarify.
4.5 now.
Yeah. I was
I
gonna
want the
clarify
market
that.
number. I'll take the 4.5.
Well, that's what I was going to clarify because when you guys said it, I didn't even
I
realize
knew
it
what
had
I
changed
was
off
doing.
5, and I know you were right. So 4.5 for these guys here.
I'll
in
take
this one.
that point
And-
like a fumble in the Super Bowl.
And I'll
man.
just put it this way: I don't care really who wins any of these games because, like I said, whoever wins this NFC game's winning it, and
think so.
it's going to hurt the Cardinals' chances to hire a quarterback.
What's
or
funny is when
target.
you say that, you knew what you were doing.
You knew exactly what I was doing.
There was this comedian in Las Vegas, one of the old guy, Benny. Anyway, he was telling this joke. He said, he gets on an elevator and his husband and wife get on the elevator. They're arguing, and the wife lost $500 on the slot machines, and he's getting on her about it. And she looks and says, "You lost $10,000 playing blackjack." And he looked at her and goes, "But I know what I'm doing."
Of course. Hey, let me ask you this really quick. Tickets
Buddy
here.
Hackett.
Buddy. I'm
he's
going old
great.
school. Tickets here.
Tickets.
For this ticket line right here for this game. Rams Seattle. Does that mean 53% of tickets are on the Rams right now?
53% of the tickets are on the Rams, but we don't know where the money is. 60% of the money's on the under in that game.
Yeah.
64% of the money.
Which I don't know on that
in
under.
Denver.
I could see two great
Yeah, I think
defenses
under.
battling it out. It tells you under, but then you can also go, well, I could see a 50 to 49 type ball game.
38-37
That's what I
last
mean.
game.
That's right.
That's what I mean.
why whatever the last game was, I tend to go away
Yeah.
for think that may not.
That's what shocked me because I've already put my bet in on the under, and I'm like, this is going to be one of those 100 to 99 type.
What'd you
ball
take,
games.
47?
And, I think it was
46
47 and a half.
47
I
and a
think.
half.
It was at a 46 and a half. But so it'll be fun to see. But Lou, you'll join us next Thursday as always. Appreciate you coming today, Dale. Glad you could stick around today.
It's fun having
Always
Dale
fun.
with us.
Always
Absolutely.
fun.
We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. McCollum on Business coming up at 11 as well. We'll see what that market's doing. Sell off earlier the week. Big buyback yesterday. Who knows today? We'll check it out. And maybe it's like Lou's Broncos bet here. Kind of surprise us out there. Come on back tomorrow, folks. 8 o'clock, the main event. See you then, everybody.